Ladies and gentlemen, that is the battle cry from Spring Garden High School. GGG, go Garden, go. That's the Spring Garden High School cheerleaders with us to kick off high school football Alabama's after the game on a football Friday night. John Holder in with you. We'll hear more from the Spring Garden cheerleaders. We got a special treat for you tonight. Not only is Barrett Ragsdale, the head coach of the Spring Garden Panthers, also with us live in studio in just a few moments. We'll have the entire Spring Garden football team in tonight, live in studio as well. Welcome in to High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder, Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett, our entire hard-working After the Game team with you all the way until beyond midnight tonight with all the scores and the highlights, everything you need to know about high school football. Right now, we're going to jump to the scoreboard, gathering scores from all across East Alabama and around the state as well as we go to our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard tonight. This was a big game, much closer than the final score. Huge game for Piedmont. The Bulldogs in a must-win situation at Coolidge-Isbell Stadium in Geraldine tonight. Piedmont came into this game having never lost to Geraldine, but tonight it happened. Number 9 Geraldine beating Piedmont tonight 42-27. One of the best games of the night anywhere in the state was at White Plains at Robertson Field. White Plains needed to win tonight to lock up a playoff berth now that they're eligible for the playoffs. It went to overtime tonight out at White Plains, but Munford wins the game as they get a touchdown and a two-point conversion in overtime, and Munford beats White Plains 36-28. White Plains can still make the 4A playoffs, but now they have to have a lot of help. The first thing they have to do is beat Westbrook coming up in their last non-region game. Now, let's talk about the game involving the Spring Garden Panthers. Ladies, you like that score right there, 49-7? Spring Garden 49, Donahoe 7. We will have highlights of that game from Lynchfield at Donahoe. Spring Garden taking their 6th straight game in a row from the Donahoe Falcons. They'll return home next week with a monumental matchup coming up in Class 1A Region 6 home field advantage on the line as the Raglan Purple Devils come into Jason Howard Field. Let's also tell you about one of the big games in the state tonight. We'll have highlights of this game. Number 2, Clay Chalkville taking on number 9, Oxford. It was a packed house, standing room only tonight down at Lamar Field. Clay Chalkville wins the game over Oxford. They led it 21-0 at the end of the third quarter, and they beat Oxford tonight 28-14. Highlights of that game coming on After the Game. We'll also have highlights of this game. Walter Wellborn, for all intents and purposes, they have wrapped up the region title in Class 3A Region 4. Wellborn needed to win tonight against Weaver to do that on the hill, and Wellborn gets the job done. Our reigning Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. We'll show you some footage from their pep rally today where Walter Wellborn beat Weaver tonight 48-27. Highlights of that game coming on After the Game. Still, well, we do have a final score. This is a new one. Anniston at home tonight at Lott Mosby Memorial Stadium in Anniston. They beat Talladega. They get a region win in Class 4A Region 4 as Anniston goes to a 54-0 win over Talladega tonight at Lott Mosby Stadium in Anniston. Southside, well, let's go to the Ohatchee-Glencoe score first. Ohatchee tonight, this game was really close. It was a 26-22 lead by Glencoe in the second half, but Ohatchee scores the last 20 points of the game, and Ohatchee beats Glencoe on the Creek Bank tonight, 42-26. Scott Martin making his return to the Creek Bank at Ohatchee. It did not go well for the Yellow Jackets as Ohatchee wins the game, 42-26. Now, let's talk about number 7 in the state in 5A Southside. They beat Alexandria tonight, 49-21 at Barney Hood Stadium at Southside. Couple that with a score that we're going to show you in just a moment. Southside is now in control of Class 5A Region 6. We'll tell you why in just a moment, but Southside taking care of business against Alexandria tonight, 49-21. Pleasant Valley, Southeastern playing tonight over in Blount County at Rimlap. Pleasant Valley needing a win to maybe secure home field advantage in the playoffs. The Raiders will be in the playoffs, but they needed to beat Southeastern tonight to ensure home field advantage. Didn't get the job done. Southeastern wins the game 27-13 over in Blount County at Rimlap tonight. Hanley, number 6 team in the state in 4A, at home tonight at Wright Field in Roanoke, taking on the Cleburne County Tigers. Cleburne County a much better showing tonight as they made a really nice effort against Handley, but Handley wins the game as they remain undefeated in Class 4A Region 4, 8-1 overall as Handley beats Cleburne County 38-14. Also tonight, Thorsby, Ranburne. Ranburne needed to win in a must-win situation with any hopes of making the Class 2A playoffs, but Thorsby, the Rebels, have a good team. They came over from Chilton County tonight to Ranburne. They beat the Bulldogs tonight at Harlan Robinson Stadium 22-12. Also tonight, last night, this game was played on Thursday at Farm Links Field in Fayetteville, and that was Woodland beating Fayetteville in that same 2A Region 4. Woodland beats Fayetteville last night 35-27. This game was maybe the wildest game of the night down in Lee County at Beulah. Randolph County with 2 pick sixes in the fourth quarter. That broke open a close game. It's been back and forth all night long. Randolph County makes Pat Prestridge, their head coach, with the most wins of any coach in Randolph County history as they win tonight at Beulah 50-29, a combined 79 points between the Bobcats and the Tigers. Wadley and Winterboro, this score just coming in, number 7. Wadley really going to wrap up a region title there in Class 1A Region 6. They beat Winterboro tonight down in Wadley 42-8 as Wadley goes to 7-1. Also tonight, rolling along, talk about Central of Clay County. The Volunteers playing at Beauregard tonight, a very good Beauregard team in 5A, but Central of Clay County takes care of business as they roll over Beauregard tonight 49-7. Sylacauga and Tallahassee still looking for a final on that game being played at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga tonight, where Chris Smelly still trying to get his first win as head coach of the Aggies. Their crosstown, I guess you would say, friend, foe, whatever, number 1 BB Comer tonight. They were on the road playing at Central of Coosa County down in Hanover. No problem for number 1 BB Comer as they beat Central of Coosa 59-7 tonight. Dadeville probably wrapping up the 3rd place spot in Class 3A Region 4 as they win tonight at Tiger Stadium in Dadeville as they beat Childersburg 46-12 tonight. Tomorrow, Alabama School for the Deaf will play in Fremont, California. That is between San Francisco and Fresno, or San Jose, I should say. And California School for the Deaf is 6-1. ASD will play there at 4 o'clock Central Time tomorrow night in the San Francisco Bay Area. Ragland, Talladega County Central, this score just coming in. I know Spring Garden folks, they want to know what this one was like. Sets up the big showdown next week. Ragland tonight wins at home at Joan Ford Stadium as they beat TCC 61-19 tonight. So that sets up the showdown between Ragland and Spring Garden for home field advantage in the Class 1A state playoffs, which will be big, by the way. A bit of an upset tonight. St. Clair County at home in Odenville. They beat the Lincoln Golden Bears tonight 18-11. Pell City tonight gets their first official win of the Rush Probst era, 69-0 over Huffman. We'll have highlights of that game, and also the head coach of the Pell City Panthers, Rush Probst, will be with us live tonight in studio on After the Game as he'll be celebrating his first official win as the head coach of the Pell City Panthers. We talked about the game that Southside folks will be interested in. Here it is, top 10 matchup in Class 5A. Leeds and Moody tonight, Homer Smile Stadium in Leeds. Number 9 Leeds pulls off the mild upset tonight, 24-21. Next week it's Moody and Southside at Moody. Southside is now totally in control of Class 5A Region 6 with that win tonight over Alexandria. They are undefeated in region play. Aniana tonight playing Asheville at Ken Logan Stadium. Number 10 Aniana rolling over the Asheville Bulldogs. High scoring game, 63-39. The Redskins beat the Bulldogs tonight. Sandrock, a winner tonight. Sandrock gets the win over Eider 34-0 at Sandrock. Cherokee County rolling tonight. We'll have highlights of this game coming from Jim Glover Field in Attala. I was telling the folks from Spring Garden, that's my alma mater, that this will give you a clue of how long ago this was, that I was a Spring Garden graduate. The last time that Center played at Jim Glover Field in Attala, I was a senior in high school. Yes, 1985. Cherokee County 49, Etowah nothing tonight at Jim Glover Field in Attala. Gainesville Trojans, they upset Decatur Heritage last year, but not tonight over at West Morgan High School in Trinity. Number 10 in Class 1A Decatur Heritage shuts out the Gainesville Trojans 34-0. Locust Fork 9-0 for the first time in school history. They beat Gaston tonight at Gaston 62-0. This was a great football game, and it was nearly an upset tonight, but it did not happen. Sylvania beats Oaks Bluff tonight 28-21. Number 7 team in the state in Class 3A. The Sylvania Rams look like they're maybe headed now for a region championship as they beat Oaks Bluff tonight at the Bluff 28-21. We will have highlights of that game coming on after the game a little bit later on. Westbrook Christian, great coaching matchup here. Steve Smith taking on Dale Pruitt tonight in Rainsville. Westbrook Christian beats Plainview tonight 42-35 in Rainsville. Coosa Christian, everybody talking about Coosa Christian. Coosa Christian tonight, number 8 team in the state in Class 1A. They go up to Blount County, to Appalachian on top of Straight Mountain. They beat the Eagles tonight. Didn't score 94 this week, but they did score 51. 51-0 Coosa Christian over Appalachian tonight. Gadsden City, they shot out to a big lead, and they are going to win the region title in Class 6A Region 8 as they go to Huntsville tonight, and they beat Lee of Huntsville 41-0. West End and Cleveland, this score also just coming in. West End tonight, you know, they had lost 12 straight games to the Cleveland Panthers, but not tonight. Breaking a big, long losing streak to their neighbors from the next county over in Blount County. West End tonight wins at home in Walnut Grove as they beat Cleveland 34-20. This was an exciting game as well. Homecoming at the Ship in Boaz. Boaz beating Sardis tonight 35-21. And an impressive performance by the Fife Red Devils. Now, I know that says number 3 versus number 3. That is not a misprint. They were actually tied for number 3 in Class 2A. Tonight, at Paul Benefield Stadium in Fife, Fife beat Pisgah 56-42, but they led this game 56-28 at one point. So an impressive performance by Fife tonight, maybe the top 2 teams in Class 2A in North Alabama. And our final score, Central Phoenix City with another blowout win tonight. They did this against number 3 Auburn at Duck Sanford Stadium in Auburn. The Red Devils win by 3 touchdowns as they win the game 41-20 over the Auburn Tigers tonight at Duck Sanford Stadium in Auburn. That's our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard. Right back here, before we go back to the Spring Garden Cheerleaders, we want to bring in the senior lender for Noble Bank and Trust. We have our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser every Friday night. We'll have a couple of guests in there. Spring Garden head coach Barrett Ragsdale will be in there. We'll also have Pell City head coach Russ Probst. He'll be in here with us a little bit later. But right now, Trey Pilkington's in from Noble Bank and Trust. Great supporters of going on in the community, but certainly with high school football Alabama. Trey, welcome in. Glad to have you with us after the game.
Appreciate you guys a whole lot. I've been watching you do this since the mid-2000s, back when I was in high school. So I guess I'm putting a little age on me as well, but I enjoyed it. It's good to support high school and support high school football, and it holds a near dear place in my heart. And so I appreciate everything you guys and all your team does here.
Well, you couldn't do it without the folks at Noble Bank and Trust. And there's a lot of organizations in this county, in this area, that also could not do what Noble Bank and Trust does. Just yesterday, you had the big Martha Vandervoort Memorial Golf Classic over at the Anniston Country Club, raising a lot of money. It's all given to charity. Talk about that tournament and also who all gets proceeds from that tournament.
Oh yeah, so that tournament is something we've been doing for around 8 years now, and we proudly do it. It's one of the things that we love about, or especially I love about working at a place like Noble Bank, is we don't just serve the financial needs of our community. We serve spiritual, we serve physical, we serve all the needs of the people in our community. One of our core principles is biblical principles, and so we wear that on our sleeve every single day. And I'm proud that 15 or 18 years ago, that when those guys and girls started this bank, that was a foundation they wanted to set. And so the tournament we played yesterday, you mentioned, we've raised over the years, I don't know the exact dollar amount, and I'm trying to, I think we'll find it out on Monday, but over the 8 years now, we will have given away around $500,000. And
wow.
So it's been phenomenal to see the needs that have been met through housing, through FCA, through many other places that receive funds from this. But all of it goes to faith-based organizations, and that's exactly what we try to do and serve in that way.
And all that money stays local. That's an important thing. This money is not going off to Charlotte and Nashville or even Birmingham or Atlanta or anywhere. All that money stays here in East Alabama.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You mentioned FCA there. I've been on the FCA local board for, about 24 years. But we have to have a leader. And our leader on the local board, you just stepped in within the last year to be the leader of our Cheaha Valley FCA, our president, chairman of the board.
Well.
Tell us about your involvement and your volunteerism with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Absolutely. So that is one of my favorite things that I get to do outside of the bank, outside of raising a family and working for Noble Bank and Trust. But stepped into that role with guys like you and folks that have laid a foundation for people like me. It's a pretty easy gig. I mean, I get to go in there and I get to serve all of our high schools by being a character coach and in many other ways. And so appreciate your support, appreciate everybody else's support. And it's been a lot of fun over the past year getting to step into that role. But again, like I said, without folks like you for the past 24, 25 years, I wouldn't be able to do that. It's something very special to me. I can remember back in the mid-2000s, like I said, when I was in high school, I didn't see a presence of FCA on the campus of Oxford. But now, I mean, there's something going on weekly, if not daily, through FCA up there. So very proud of where this organization has got into our schools.
And a great thank you to Noble Bank for encouraging you and allowing you to take the time away from work sometimes.
Absolutely.
A lot of times to go to board meetings and things like that to support FCA. Noble Bank gives you that freedom.
Absolutely. Not only I think do they give it, I think one of the wonderful things we have is they expect it. They expect us to serve our community outside of, again, the financial needs that we do on a daily basis, and I'm very proud of that.
Awesome. Trey Pilkington with Noble Bank and Trust Senior Lender.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you do to the community. Thank you for what Noble Bank does. Thank you for your sponsorship of After the Game.
Thank you.
And we promised you now more of the Spring Garden High School cheerleaders. After them, come back after the break, we're going to have the Spring Garden. Did a great job tonight at Donahoe cheering on the Panthers to victory tonight, 49-7 over the Falcons. One more time, here's the Spring Garden High School cheerleaders.
The Panther team is here to prove that the Panther team can really MOB move. So go, go, get 'em, and when you get 'em, B-E-A-T. So go, go, get 'em, and when you get 'em, B-E-A-T. The Panther team is here to prove that the Panther team can really MOB move. So go, go, get 'em, and when you get 'em, B-E-A-T. So go, go, get 'em, and when you get 'em, B-E-A-T.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account. You're a member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement, with physical therapy tailored to his needs, a dedicated team of doctors and nurses, and he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that? Right here
at RMC.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Pee Wee Turner Motors, located South Quintard Avenue in Anniston. They have been there going all the way back to 1969. 54 years later, thousands of satisfied customers, still going strong, and they are selling quality late model vehicles. Also, in addition to that, you can rent a car, a Penske moving truck, or a Cruise America RV. Visit them even tomorrow at 512 South Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Give them a phone call at 237-4649 or visit them at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. Another late final score coming in as we go back to our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard. Sylacauga gets their first win of the era of Chris Smelly tonight at home at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga. Congratulations to Coach Smelly. Been a long time coming. Sylacauga lost 10 games the year before. They're on a long losing streak, but they broke that tonight with a win over the Tallahassee Tigers at home by a score of 38-28. So we wanted to get that score out to you before we ran through all the scores once again. As promised, we have the Spring Garden High School cheerleaders in, and now we've got the head coach of the Spring Garden High School Panthers, Coach Barrett Ragsdale, with us on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Coach, welcome in. Congratulations on that 49-7 win at Donahoe tonight.
Hey, appreciate it. Appreciate you having us tonight.
Coach, I was there for the first half of that game and left. Midway through the second quarter, you're up 20-0. When I was there, it was the John Welch show. He had made some big runs. We'll see that on some of the highlights. He also made a couple of spectacular catches in the time we were there. He had a great game tonight. Just kind of tell us all about the game.
He did. You know, John came out. I felt like coming out of the gates tonight, we were a little slow. And it took us a while to move down the field that first drive. And then John he was one of the few guys that toted the ball, had some big catches there. That got us going early, and we just kept building off of that.
Coach, I know probably for you and Ragland, you're big heavy favorites this week. They were heavy favorites against TCC. You were heavy favorites against Donahoe. Kind of hard not to look ahead to that big game next week because it's so important. Home field advantage on the line and things like that. You think maybe that was maybe one of the things with the slow start tonight?
Well, you know, it was definitely, you don't want to look ahead, you know, and we preach to the kids, this game is the most important game, but they also know that every week we've got to come in and build off what we did last week. And so what we did tonight was very important moving forward because, like I said, that is a huge game for us next week.
Coach, you know, early in the season I was able to watch y'all play, and you were playing hard and you had the turnovers. I mean,
yeah.
But what have y'all done, you know, since then? Because I know what we used to have to always do. A lot of it's mental.
Oh yeah.
But what have you done as a turnover problem, and it's gotten a little better as we've gotten into the season?
Well, you know, Coach, it's one of those things that after the first game where we had the problem turning the ball over, putting it on the ground. We just really hammered it the next week, and the next week we turned around and did the same thing. We went down to Wadley, so it's kind of like, you know, we pulled off talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, and just started doing our normal stuff, and it took care of itself. And like coaches, we all preach, look, just go hard. You know, just go hard, and those turnovers will dwindle down and get away.
Coach, let's talk about you've had some injuries too. That's been a big factor, especially around the middle of the season. I think you've got some of those guys that are coming back now, but every coach I talk to at this time of year is talking about, hey, we're beat up, we're banged up, we've got injuries and things like that. How are you going into this? Right now, it's the biggest game of the year for sure with Ragland. How are you health-wise?
Right, we're getting back. We're getting back to being close to 100%. We still got a few guys banged up. You know, we missed 4 guys there for 2 games, 2 to 3 games. We had 4 guys, 4 starters that were out. But those guys are starting to get back, and they're back in the rotation.
Hey, 4 starters in 1A football, that is monumental.
That's 8. That's
Oh,
usually,
yeah,
usually
yeah.
that's 8 people.
So that speaks volumes about the guys that stood up in their place those 2 or 3 weeks and held their own and got better. And a couple of those guys found their way on the field in other spots. They showed us that they could execute and do what we needed them to do.
Well, it means you're also doing the things in practice because those guys are, if they're not starters, they're sitting over in 1A football. You're sitting over there taking a beating every day.
Right.
So they're being developed also, and that's
Right.
a credit to you and your staff for those being able to do that.
I've got great coaches around me that do a great job with the kids and preparing them for times like that when they need to step up.
Coach, you mentioned your football team, and one of the things I've always loved in all the years of doing this is when we're able to bring players and put them on camera, and put them on screen, and let folks look at them. And from time to time, we have had through the years, coaches, when the situation works itself out and presents itself, we've had a chance where we can bring the entire football team into the studio, and you've afforded us that opportunity tonight. So we're going to let a secret out to folks in our RMC Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Anniston. We're making an announcement tonight that most of you didn't know. We have a Studio B. And in Studio B tonight, for the first time, we have the entire Spring Garden football team. I think we're ready to show those guys. There they are, crammed in there, and the cheerleaders and managers and all that kind of stuff in there. Coach, how many players have you got on this year's team?
I think we're right at 40.
Wow.
That's a lot for 1A football.
It is.
That's a lot.
Tell us about these guys.
Well, there's we got 3 seniors this year. I think we're 11 juniors. So we're our junior senior class heavy right there. See our managers there working them hard. So glad they were able to make the trip with us. But this group is a hard-working group, and they've got better every week, and they're a good group of kids, and they're just a joy to be around and coach.
Coach, the thing I noticed last year, I came last year, and it was the first time I'd ever been to a 1A football game. People say, hey, I always coached in 4A. So the thing I noticed was last year and this year was your fan support. Tell us a little bit about those people in the stands, because I know they talk about go Garden go, but my goodness, those people support y'all.
Man, it's the greatest community in Alabama. There's, no place I'd rather be. The best support. It's a special place. It's a special place, no doubt.
Well, I got to add something else. I got to go ahead and do this because John normally talks about something that's nice or different, but you've been out there a while.
I have.
And I've been out there twice, maybe 3 times. And y'all have to have you had one of those steak sandwiches?
Oh, can't beat them. Can't beat them.
And you know what else I got a hold of? When I went over there to eat the steak sandwiches, a bacon-wrapped antelope kebab.
See, I missed out on that now.
Well, see there, you need to go and get to the
That was
booster
a
club.
special night, the Coosa Christian game. I think only that night. I think they brought that in,
All right.
imported from like Wyoming or somewhere.
It was
that
for the
night.
cooks, and we happened to be there, so, knowing how I am, I went over there and hold my hand out, and they just kept piling them on him.
Yeah, I'm going to get on those guys because I tell them before the game, now, where y'all having, you better hold me something back, okay?
Well,
So-
I ate them all. There wasn't none left that night, Coach.
That's why I didn't get anything, all right?
Well, Spring Garden is, I'm biased, I'm a Spring Garden graduate. All those things you said, it is a special place. It's we talk about the schools, it's still one of those places where the community is built around the school. Right. And, it's one of those things where tradition is a big thing. And Spring Garden has not really had, going back to my day, a big football tradition. But in this last 10 to 12 years, the football tradition at Spring Garden has been outstanding. And I know this is your first year as head coach, but you served as defensive coordinator for a lot of years before that. You have been a big piece of building the Spring Garden football tradition. I know you take a lot of pride in that.
Well, and it's one of those things. Like this is year 14. We've been so fortunate to have a lot of good kids come through, good ball players, but not just good ball players, good people, and that goes back to the community. Parents and grandparents and just supporters that pour time into the kids, and we have hard-nosed kids and kids that we can coach hard, and so it's been easy to build off of those type of kids.
Coach, one thing that I noticed when I've been out there to those games, and a coach would notice this, but as I'm walking through the stands and leaving or coming to the game, you see not only just people with football shirts, you got girls basketball and volleyball, because there's a history there.
Right.
But they're right there supporting the football team, and I know the football team's going to go support them. So tell me a little bit about that, how they all actually support each other, because they all have been successful.
Right. If you go, you come to the gym at 1:15, you're going to find all the coaches in the gym, and we're breaking up athletes, and we're running and we're working out, we're doing agilities, and we invest in each other's athletes, and we love on each other's athletes, and we support each other, and we root for each other. So you go to the volleyball game, you're going to see all the coaches there. You go to a football game or baseball or softball. So we have a great relationships, and you hear horror stories of other places where coaches don't get along. We've just been blessed. We've never had that problem. I've got great colleagues that I work with, and
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be everywhere. It should be that way.
Coach, let's talk about now back to the on-the-field stuff. We always say the biggest game is the next game, but this game is really huge coming up next week with Ragland because it's the difference basically in going on the road and being at home in the playoffs, which is huge. And that has implications if you keep winning on down the road, having that number 2 seed. That makes huge implications even in the second and third and fourth rounds of the playoffs. So just do you feel like right now, I know every coach at this time of year, this will be week 10 coming up next week, you want to be peaking right now. Do you think your football team is moving in that direction? Just your thoughts on Ragland.
Ragland's got a good football team. It's going to be a challenge. Having them at home next week, it's a huge game. But I think the last 3 weeks, the last 3 to 4 weeks, we've really built from week to week and got a little bit better. So we continue doing that next week, then we're going to be in a ball game and give ourselves a chance.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Thank you for not only coming and being on the show, that's enough, but bringing those guys and all those managers and trainers and all the support staff, there they are. Thank you so much for bringing them and having them on the show. This is what it's all about, is putting these young people and shining the spotlight on them as well. Thank you for bringing the Spring Garden football team to be with us here on After the Game tonight.
Hey, thank you for having us. Thank you for what y'all do here. We love tuning in and catching you.
Thank you. Barrett Ragsdale is the head coach of the Spring Garden High School Panthers. Winners tonight over Donahoe up at Linsfield at Donahoe, 49-7. Time for our first extra point of the night. It's our Red Threads extra point presented by O-Brand. AHSA State Football Playoffs, we've been talking about it, going to talk a lot about it, begins in 3 weeks. The playoff consists of 5 rounds of play in classes 1A through 6A, 4 rounds in Class 7A. 32 teams in each class qualify for the 1A through 6A playoffs from schools divided into 8 regions around the state. 16 teams from 4 regions qualify for the Class 7A playoffs, and it's a little bit different this year, a little bit later. The last round, the Super 7 state finals, that is coming up December 6th through the 8th, Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. We'll be back with more of After the Game as we roll on a Football Friday night.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ, a place to use the gifts and talents God has given you, a place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Aniston. Visit our website for details.
Back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Time to go back to our USA Softball of Alabama's scoreboard. Number 8 Geraldine in 3A tonight, beating Piedmont 42-27 in overtime. It was Munford beating White Plains 36-28 in overtime. You just saw Spring Garden. They beat Donahoe 49-7. We'll have highlights of that game coming from Lynchfield at Donahoe. We'll also have highlights of this game. Number 2 Clay Chalkville beating Oxford tonight at Lamar Field 28-14. We'll also have highlights of this game. Walter Welborn tonight wins at home. They are in the driver's seat for a region title in 3A Region 4 as they beat Weaver tonight 48-27. Anniston tonight over Talladega 54-0. Ohatchee was down 26-22 at one point, but they scored the last 20 points of the game and they win over Glencoe 42-26. Southside tonight remains undefeated in region play. They're the only team left that's undefeated in region play in 5A Region 6. Number 7 in 5A Southside beating Alexandria 49-21. Southeastern tonight upends Pleasant Valley 27-13. Hanley cruising to a region title in Class 4A Region 4 as they beat Cleburne County 38-14. Thorsby beats Ranburne tonight over in Ranburne 22-12. Last night at Farm Links Field in Fayetteville, Woodland beat the Fayetteville Wolves 35-27. Tonight, Randolph County gets the biggest win for, I guess, Pat Prestridge in his coaching careers. He is now the winningest coach in Randolph County history. Randolph County beating Beulah tonight at Beulah 50-29. Wadley continues to roll toward a region title in Class 1A Region 6 as they beat Winterboro 42-8 tonight. Central of Clay County also rolling as well, a region championship in Class 5A Region 4 as Central Clay County wins at Beauregard 49-7. Sylacauga gets the first win of the Chris Smelly era as Sylacauga beats Tallahassee tonight at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga 38-28. BB Comer, number 1 team in the state in 2A. They blast Central of Coosa 59-7. Dadeville beats Childersburg tonight at Tiger Stadium in Dadeville 46-12. ASD plays at California School for the Deaf in Fremont, California tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Tonight, Ragland setting up that big showdown with Spring Garden. They beat Talladega County Central tonight 61-19. And it was St. Clair County with a upset tonight. St. Clair County upending the Lincoln Golden Bears tonight in Odenville 18-11. Pell City will have highlights of this game. Head coach of the Pell City Panthers about 20 or 25 minutes away. Russ Probst will join us live right here on After the Game as Pell City tonight beat Huffman 69-0. A big top 10 matchup in Class 5A tonight in Leeds. Homer Smiles Field. Number 9 Leeds beating number 5 Moody tonight 24-21. Aniana outscoring Asheville tonight. Most points ever scored combined in an Aniana-Asheville game. Aniana beating Asheville 63-39 tonight at Ken Logan Stadium in Asheville. Sandrock gets a win tonight, their second of the year. They beat Eider 34-0. Cherokee County, number 2 team in the state in Class 4A, beating Etowah tonight at Jim Glover Field in Attala 49-0. We will have highlights of that game from Etowah. Decatur Heritage this evening beating Galesville 34-0. It was Locust Fork over Gaston as Locust Fork remains undefeated 9-0 for the first time in school history. Locust Fork beating Gaston 62-0. We'll also have highlights of this game tonight. Sylvania beating Hoax Bluff. Great football game tonight at the Bluff. Sylvania wins it 28-21. Westbrook tonight outscoring Plainview in Rainsville 42-35. Coosa Christian wins again at Appalachian 51-0. Gadsden City wins tonight in a shutout 41-0 at Robert E. Lee of Huntsville. West End tonight, a winner over Cleveland 34-20 out at Walnut Grove. Boaz outscoring Sardis 35-21. Both teams came in averaging 34 points a game. Boaz hitting right at their average, but they hold Sardis to 21, and Boaz wins the game on homecoming at the Ship in Boaz. It was 5 tonight, beating Pisgah in that huge matchup up on Sand Mountain at 5 beating rival Pisgah tonight 56-42. And the big game in Class 1A tonight, Central Phoenix City.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand. The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We wanted a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Aniston.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Ted's Floors and Beyond, they bring you our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. You're going to see that in just a moment. They now offer cabinets from Welborn Cabinet. They have complete kitchen and bathroom makeovers, a large schedule of products, including hundreds of in-stock items, hardwood, laminate, tile, carpet, 0% interest financing for 12 months, all day, every day, free in-home estimates and more. ShopTeds.com is the place to go where you can find out more about Ted's Floors and Beyond and our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. Here it is. We were out at Walter Welborn today, and they are our reigning Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week, coming off that big 30-25 win over Randolph County last week down in Wedowee. Coach Smith, Jeff Smith, did not want to say this was wrapping up the region title, but it was a big part in wrapping up the region title. And we were out there today presenting not only, as you're going to see right here, we've got all kind of things to give away. The Ted's t-shirts, black and white. See that? We also have our Ted's and our Anniston Orthopedics score shirts with the score of the game on the back as well. Cole Sterling there from Ted's. And there's the Welborn football team. And also our big tough guy trophy as well from the folks at Awards to Remember. There's Jeff Smith. There's our reigning player of the week. We'll see more about him. Jabari Williams there. And they get the big Team of the Week trophy, the T-shirts, the TED shirts, all of that coming from the folks at High School Football Alabamas. After the game, Ted's Floors and Beyond, our Team of the Week, the Walter Welborn High School Panthers. And we will have another Team of the Week announcement coming up probably a little bit after midnight. I know some folks are concerned about me. No need to be concerned. Just a little cough there. Happens from time to time, a coughing fit as we will. I rest assure all of our viewers out there around the world tonight that I am okay. At this point in time, we're going to bring Michael Short in. Coach Chad Barnett for the first time tonight. Coach Chad.
I coached Powder Puff at one time in high school, and we won. So
you won?
Yeah, we did.
Are you 100%?
100%.
100%.
We're bringing all kind of new information tonight. People didn't know that we had a Studio B. We debuted that tonight here at the our RMC Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church. We've had a Studio B for a while. We just hadn't debuted it till tonight. We hadn't had a way to, we hadn't had a reason to debut it, but we debuted it tonight because we had the Spring Garden football team in, and now we had
half the town was here too. That was good.
Coach Chad Barnett.
Good stuff. Weaver tonight, Welborn. Obviously, a big game coming into this for a lot of reasons, but for Welborn, as you mentioned, is this right? 1995 was their last region title.
That is correct. That's
okay.
That is correct. 1995. So we're looking at almost 30 years.
Okay.
People don't realize.
Yeah.
They think, what?
It didn't make sense.
They've always tied somebody. They've been in a three-way tie or a two-way tie or something like that over the years, you know, when they were Piedmont.
Yeah, they tied for region championships, but as far as winning an outright region title, and I think that with that win tonight that we're about to see over Weaver, they pretty much have wrapped that thing up.
Yeah. So let's talk about this one a little bit. You know, winners of their last 5 in a row. Welborn Panthers include a massive win last week on the road. We talked about it, the one on Randolph County on the road. The Panthers are now in the driver's seat for the Region 4 championship, and with a couple of wins, including tonight, they would win their first outright region title since 1995. Let's go to the highlights on the hill as we got there a little bit after halftime. 16-7 as Welborn is on top at the moment. And we don't get to do this a lot, but I really wanted to show the video of the Weaver band tonight. I don't get wowed by bands a lot, but I came up and it was phenomenal. Their band is really, really, really good. So much so we put them in some football highlights. Great job for them. So 16-7 at the half, and second half we pick it up with a Welborn offense and Noah Screws with a phenomenal 22-yard run. You'll see that type of run a few times in this drive. As Screws would take that first one 22 yards, this one would be down to the 4. It's just a quarterback taker. It goes right up the middle, and they just muscle their way down to the 4-yard line. Right after that, Jabari Williams with a touchdown, the guy you mentioned just a few minutes ago, John. 22-7 at the 9:30 mark to go into third. They're going to go for 2. Kyle Bright's going to take over the left side for the 2-point conversion. It's 24-7 at this point. Weaver on offense now, trying to get some momentum back. Going to be a nice run by Keyshawn Allen with a big first down. He had a big week last week. We talked about him on the highlights in their win last week at home. But this time he's back punting, and they could have maybe went for this one because that's about a 5-yard punt. Sets Welborn up in phenomenal field position. And this deep pass to Bright is going to fall just incomplete. So the Weaver defense holds. So Wellborn is now punting from that same spot where they got the bad punt. And this is anything but a bad punt. All the way down, and it stops at the 1 yard line. He had the brakes on it. Puts him in phenomenal or bad field position for Weaver. They're going to get the fumble. Wellborn recovers at the 1, and they're going to be in business to take a commanding lead in this one. Screws, he's going to take the keeper again, right up the gut. 2-point conversion again is good. 32-7, Wellborn's on top. Big plays in the kicking game. This one is a mistake by Wellborn, though. They're going to kick it off to the one person they probably did not want to, and that's Keyshawn Allen. He's going to take it right up the gut and show off the wheels down the sideline, 80 yards for a touchdown. Extra point would be no good, so it's 32-16. Wellborn would come right back on offense, though. There's that man again, Jabari Williams, this time 75 yards as he outruns the Bearcat defense into the end zone. 40-16 at this point. Jeff Smith happy with his offense, happy with his team. They, like you said, John, are on their way to their first outright region championship since 1995.
Now, they would say that they still have to beat Sacs next week to win the thing outright, which is true. But for all intents and purposes, as far as seeding in the playoffs, they pretty much wrapped it up, I think, tonight.
Yep.
And they're going to host a first-round playoff game coming up when the playoffs start here in, the second week in November.
Yeah, the thing that if we remember back when Coach Smith was here a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about having that off week. He must have used that off week better than anybody in the state because they have improved tremendously with this kicking game. And to me, what is overshadowed is their defense. You know, that like last week, Randolph County, they come up with some points, 25 or something. But they're not giving up, I bet they're giving up less than 18 points a game. But defensively, they're getting stops when they have to. And that, everybody looks at their offense, and their offense keeps the ball away from people. But to me, their defense has gotten better and better and better. And before I forget, one of our favorite fans, Gary Harris, his daughter is in the band boosters out there at Weaver, and she's always been a part of the Weaver band, so that may have had a lot to do with why they're that good. A little connection to Gary Harris, who's one of our, down in Valley, Alabama, he watches every Friday night.
I talked with him tonight. He was at the Donahoe game, came down to the fence before the game, and we had a good conversation about days in the Valley tonight. He was actually thinking about coming, and he has a big 5K run down in the Valley in Langdale tomorrow. He was going to come to the show tonight and actually be on the show with us.
Nice.
And he may join us on one of these Friday nights coming up. Right now, guys, I think we're going to take a look at our 3A regions now as we go to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden region rundown. And we're going to talk about not only Class 3A Region 4, but Class 3A Region 6. Here's 3A Region 4, and you see right there, Walter Wellborn now 5-0. They have Sacs left. That's their last region game. Then they have Cleburne County coming up in a non-region game, also at home. But, for all intents and purposes, they have the head-to-head over everybody. Obviously, they've beaten Dadeville, they've beaten Randolph County and Beulah and Childersburg and Weaver. Even if they were to lose to Sacs next week, they're still the region champions.
Chance to come out flat, Coach. How do you do that as a coach? You pretty much secured everything, but you've got, Sacs historically has been a really good game for them, but they're 0-5 this year. How do you keep them from having an off week next week?
Do y'all not know Jeff Smith?
Yes, I do.
He was even telling me, now, Johnny, can't get too ahead. This week.
Yeah, that's it. Right now, he's sitting there telling them, by in the morning, get ready, guys. You got to get ready. If anybody can make a team not play flat, they should have played flat tonight after that big win last week at Randolph County, because that was kind of a monkey on their back for the past several years. So they come out tonight and did what they had to do, and that's Wellborn people. That's the Wellborn community. They're not going to be one of those that get caught off guard, and he's not going to allow it.
And let me tell you something else about Jeff Smith, too. You guys both know this. He has a high value on Calhoun County rivalries, on playing teams from Calhoun County. So that team next week at Sacs is a long-time rival of Walter Wellborn through the years. So I don't think there's going to be much letdown.
That goes back to the old 5A days. If you look at both of them stadiums, they kind of look a lot alike. Back in those 5A days when they, held 2,000 or 3,000 people, they're a lot smaller now. But I promise you, all he's thinking about right now is them Wildcats. That's all he's thinking about, and he'll get prepared for them.
3A Region 6 almost had some monumental shakeups tonight. Didn't happen, but almost did. Sylvania took care of business, but boy, they got scared by Hoax Bluff tonight. Sylvania, again, for all intents and purposes, they wrapped up the region title with that win tonight against Hoax Bluff. But we still got a lot of things to decide here as far as the seeding goes. Huge game next week. Piedmont lost to Geraldine tonight, and that was a very close game. That was 28-27 in the fourth quarter, deep in the fourth quarter, and Geraldine scored a couple of touchdowns late to seal it. But next week, we got this huge matchup between Hoax Bluff and Piedmont, the Battle of 278 East, I call it, at the Field of Champions in Piedmont next week, and that is a huge football game.
How does that set up? Let's say Piedmont does come out and get the win. They'd put Hoax Bluff and Piedmont both 4-3. Where does Ohatchee land in this? How does that look?
Well, you're going to be in a tie-breaking situation. It looks like the top two, Sylvania and Geraldine, are going to be the top two. They're home field advantage. So basically now you got three teams battling for that 2. If Hoax Bluff wins, they're going to be the 3. Then it goes back to head-to-head, Ohatchee and Piedmont. Ohatchee beat Piedmont, remember? Yeah. So Piedmont would be out of the playoffs. But if Piedmont can beat Hoax Bluff, then we're going to be...
Which they can.
We're going to be... They sure
can.
And this could be a 3-way tie, and then you start going and looking at tiebreakers.
Then it comes down, we start looking at the last game of the season, the non-region game. Geraldine, I want to say something about them. 2 weeks in a row, they've won games in the fourth quarter. We watched them against Westbrook Christian on last Thursday night, and it's a 14-7 game. Westbrook Christian driving to tie the game, and next thing you know, right there in a 5-minute span, they can score a lot of points real quickly. They have that type of ability. Plus, to me, they got one of the better kickers in 3A football.
And as we said, you're going to have, whether it's Hoax Bluff or Ohatchee or Piedmont, one of those 3 is going to be not in the playoffs. And then I think Westbrook's a pretty good team as well. And so as we talked about all the way back to August, guys, there's going to be a couple of teams in this region that would be playoff teams in any other region in the state probably that are going to be sitting at home. That's how good that region is.
If I'm a 2 seed in the region that crosses and you got Hoax Bluff coming to your house thinking, I got a 3 seed coming, man, they're playing some really good football right now. Even though they lost tonight, they're playing really good football right now.
They really are because Sylvania, I've seen Sylvania play. If Hoax Bluff stood toe-to-toe with Sylvania, they got a good football team.
They can stand toe-to-toe with anybody.
Absolutely. Anybody in 3A in North Alabama. All right, when we come back, we've got more highlights. We got Rush Probst, head coach of the Pell City Panthers, on the way, and a whole lot more as after the game rolls on, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
We live in a world that moves quickly. And while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
After 15 years of supplying top-quality, name-brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
the Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
Anniston Orthopedics, let's tell you about their Saturday morning sports clinic every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. at the Tyler Center in Anniston. If you need to see an orthopedic doctor, get x-rays, more importantly, get back on the field as soon as possible. There is no sense in worrying during the weekend, suffering during the weekend. Anniston Orthopedics is there every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. to provide quality care and peace of mind every Saturday morning for all high school athletes, not just football players, volleyball's in full swing, cross country as well. The longest standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama with 6 highly skilled, experienced physicians. Sports medicine trainers Sean Seeger and Jessica Martin, they're on the sidelines every week at local high school games, continuing to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics, they bring you our Anniston Orthopedic score shirts for our team of the week. We're back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Now joined by the head coach of the Pell City Panthers, Coach Rush Probst. His team tonight getting their first official win of the year and the first win of the Rush Probst era at Pell City as they beat Huffman tonight down at Pete Rich Alumni Stadium 69-0. Coach, good evening. Welcome in. Glad to have you with us on After the Game.
Thanks for having me, John. Appreciate being here.
Coach, you've done this a long time, obviously, but when you're at the and you had a win on the field earlier this year against Center Point, but it's always, I think, special when you're at a new school to get that first win of your campaign there at the school. The first of what I'm sure will be many wins at Pell City, but just kind of tell us about your feelings on the game tonight.
Well, I thought we played. We've had so many mistakes and self-inflicted mistakes. We've led just about every game but one at halftime. We have led every game.
I was going to ask. I thought every game except Clay Chalk, you led.
We've led at halftime, and for some reason, third quarter, we've just had a series of things that's going on that have hurt us. Where we just doesn't play well in stretches, and I think consistency is what we've been trying to strive for. And tonight, obviously, Huffman is struggling, but we played really good in the first half and was up 55, maybe nothing and a half, somewhere along 48 nothing. Can't remember, but I thought we played fast and physical and executed well and played a lot of people, and so I was very pleased with the win tonight and. Sort of keeps us still and mathematically in a playoff hunt with Pinson Valley beating Shades Valley tonight. So puts us back into it a little bit. See what it goes. And we play Thursday night. We play Pinson Thursday night.
Coach, I think, in my opinion, I think you've probably, without question, the most improved team Pell City is from last year to this year in this entire part of the state. You may be the most improved team in the state. Some of these games that Pell City lost last year, 58-21 and things, you were leading in the games and only lost by a few points. Mm-hmm. Shows tremendous progress in just really a short amount of time that you've done at Pell City. What do you do to instill, because you're a winner, you've been a winner everywhere you've ever been, how do you start instilling that winning mentality into a program that's been down as long as Pell City has?
Well, it takes time. In the last 20 games before we started, they had been over 50 points scored on them 9 times.
Wow.
And so they had really struggled where they'd only won, 2 games, 1 game, 2 games over the last 5 years. I think the last time they were even close to being a decent football team was when Keith Etheridge was there in 16 and 17. They were 6-5 back-to-back, lost in the first round both years. They've only won 1 playoff game in 19 years, and that was David Shores back in 2012. So when you have a cultural problem, it's a lot easier to lose, and you get into that losing mentality, it's sort of status quo. So when you come in and change everything, we didn't get there till we didn't have off season, we didn't have spring practice. We started June 5th. most of our coaches, not all of them. We got them all hired by the end of June. So, talent-wise, we're not that bad. I think we have some talented players. We'll have 4 or 5 kids to sign. It's just that we have really struggled with consistency in playing consistent. Not to mention that we have played probably the toughest 6A schedule in the state. Everybody we played is either undefeated, have lost 1, no more than 2 until last week played Shades Valley, and they were 3-3 coming into the game, beat us to put them 4-3. So it's been a tough deal, and it don't get any easier next week when we go to Pinson either.
Coach, let me ask you a question here, and this is not about you. When you took the job, and you've done it a long time, and we've known each other a long time, the thing is that was most impressive to me was being able to get a staff to come to Pell City with you, knowing what kind of job it would be. Tell me a little bit about the staff you had, and just that when they had to show a lot of confidence in you and what you were going to do, just to come there knowing how bad it actually was when they got there.
Well, we pay them pretty good too now. So, I mean,
that helps.
That helps. So the commitment of our system and our city and of course our system of coming in there and saying, hey, Rush, we're going to give you some good money to pay these guys. And I think it's a vision for the future. I think most people know coming in that we were going to struggle year 1, but there's a huge commitment there. We're going to build really good facilities. I meet with an architect in 2 weeks. So in today's climate, you can't survive in 6A, 7A football without having facilities. Kids are materialistic now. They're going to go where there's great facilities and the opportunity to play in nice facilities. And I think that's sort of 6A, 7A football in Alabama. And in Georgia, when we were over there, 7A, everybody has got really good facilities. But I think that's part of it. But, and again, I just think I've had so many coaches, Michael, that have worked for me in the past that have gone on, 28 of them have gone on and coached college football, and 1 went on to the NFL. So that's another issue. I think a lot of guys want to come in and they want to work for somebody that has put a lot of people on the next level. And we'll lose some guys. I'm not a guy that keeps guys long. They come in, they work a couple of years, 3 years, and they go on to the next level. So, because we run our program like a college program. It's patterned after a college program. And I think that is another thing that attracts coaches, that they know we do it right. So and again, our school is committed to allow your coaches to coach and not be drugged by teaching 5 classes. We've got some guys that teach a little bit, but most of our guys are in that field house for a good portion of the day and working with these kids in the weight room. And so it's a good system, and we've got it. We've got people bought into doing it right and doing it the right way, and they've just not done it that way. Yeah. I think the last time they did, David Shores did it. Maybe Jay Brown had it somewhat. But I think now we've got it headed in the right direction. It's just going to take some time to develop and get them stronger and get them how to play consistent football. They just don't know how to do that yet.
You'll see this week, after you've got your first win, how much more consistent they'll start getting, because we got a taste of winning. And you're talking about facilities, Orange Beach. I posted it the other day, fixed to spend $70-something million on a brand new facility. Unbelievable. And that's 4A.
That's exactly right. And when we built ours in Georgia, Michael, we were the first school to build a full-length 100-yard indoor facility. And I battled our people. They wanted to build a 50-yard, a 40-yard, 60-yard. Why we got to? No. If we're going to build it, we're going to build it right. Now let's do the pavilion. Like UAB said, no, we're going to build it and build it right. So we spent right at $20 million just on football at Colquitt in South Georgia, and now everybody's building them. Lowndes has built one. Valdosta's built one. Carrollton, Rome, Gainesville. So that's going to come here too. That's what's fixing to happen in Alabama, is that's going to happen. And people are going to start investing more. Oxford's got nice facilities. Man, you can't beat them. They're good facilities.
It's not just for football.
No,
every sport can use them.
Every sport can use them. And that was a selling point for us. Actually, the first people that used our indoor in Moultrie, Georgia was a Special Olympic. Yep. And so, but there's a lot that goes to building a program, John. It's a comprehensive way to do it. And you don't do it, this is my 7th head coaching job. You don't win the same way at Pell City as you did at Hoover, or the same way we won at Colquitt, or at Eufaula, or at Asheville, or in Mobile. So each school has its own identity, and you have to find that identity, and that's what you got to build on. So you got to find out what can make you successful at that particular school that makes everything click, and that's what we're doing now.
Coach, you grew up, folks know, Ohatchee, Calhoun County guy. So you grew up on the banks of the Coosa River.
Yep.
And now you're back on, so to speak, the banks of the Coosa River in Pell City. What's it mean to you to continue your coaching career, come back to Alabama, and come back really home, back to this part of the state of Alabama? What's that mean to you personally?
Well, my wife's from Pell City, so it's bringing her home, and her mom and dad meant a lot to me. And you know, I think I started my career at Asheville High School. I had 6 great years there. 2 years under Reagan Clark. I played for the man who's a legend in my mind. Then I worked for him for 2 years. And then, of course, his wife was killed in a car wreck, and he resigned, and I took over in '89. And I think that coming back to St. Clair County is like a second home to me. And, you know, like you said, the other side of the river, and I have a lake lot in Asheville, and so, which is 23 miles from the field house at Pell City, and I'm living on the lake. Michael's been to my house there. We got a nice place right there on the lake in Pell City. So it's home. Pell City's home to me. I feel like I'll retire there and finish my career right there at Pell City. It does mean a lot to come back to this area, it does.
Well, you just make sure y'all do what you got to do, and then we'll go hunting and fishing, and we'll take care of them, because I got to have something to eat.
Yeah, you got to have something to eat. But I coached with him at Heflin, and so this area, went to school at Jacksonville State. So yes, it meant a lot to me to come back to this area and finish my career, John.
There's a lot of people that think that they know Russ Probst. What's the one thing that is maybe a misconception that people have about you, Coach, that you wish you could change? There's a great opportunity to tell folks tonight. Maybe the one thing that people don't know about Russ Probst that you would like for them to know.
I'm more of a simple person than people think. You know, my dad was a simple man. You know, and the older I get, the more I feel like I'm like him. I'm just a simple guy that loves my family. I have 7 beautiful children, got a lovely wife. Great support. They're always at the game. So, you know, it's a family affair for us, and that means a lot. So as long as my family's happy, and I have a daughter that's a senior at Pell City, and my youngest child is a junior, plays on the football team, scored his first touchdown of the year tonight.
Awesome.
So
I had to text you.
Yeah, so anyway, it's fun, and I enjoy it. Mine and Steph's oldest is over in Carrollton at West Georgia playing football, so that worked out real well too for us. But I'm, you know, just a simple man. Just grew up in Ohatchee, loved to hunt and fish, and glad that I'm a high school head football coach.
You know, I'll describe him this way, and a lot of people don't understand this because a lot of coaches, they coach, but the thing that has always made Russ different is his passion, and that's not just for sports. If we go hunting, he's going to try to outdo everybody hunting. If we go fishing, he's going to try to outdo everybody in fishing. So everything that he's put his hands on, he's going to try to do it the best that he can, and we're going to do whatever we can to win. And a lot of times people don't understand that, the passion that he has for everything that he does, and I think he got that part from his mother. Yeah. Am I right?
No
he
doubt.
Got that part from his mother.
And my grandmother.
Talk about your grandmother, and then you got a good brother, Philip, that's always been behind you too.
He was at the game tonight. But
Yes.
you know, the one thing is, you know, the championships come and go. I remember the losses. I don't remember the wins. I remember more the losses. But here's what's important to me. In my career as a head football coach, we've had 256 kids sign a football scholarship.
Wow.
256. And so that alone has helped a lot of kids achieve a goal. And as Michael can tell you, those kids in South Georgia If they didn't get that football scholarship, they were going to the chicken plant, or they were going to work field jobs, or didn't make it. So it was very important to them, and that's important to us. Me and my wife is the kids we've helped along the way, and the kids I feel like we're going to help at Pell City for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, however long I decide to do this, is helping kids achieve a goal. Because y'all know as well as I do, you can't hardly afford a child to go to school because it's so expensive.
I know that right now. I have one in school now.
You can't. I mean, or either they're going to have student loans and this, that, and the other. But that, if you take care of kids, I think at Hoover, I always strive to win and win and win and win. Yeah, we had a bunch of kids sign, but when I got to Moultrie, I changed. And I said, you know what, if you invest in kids, you help players achieve their goal, winning will come. And I think that's the difference. And that's the same thing at Pell City. We're going to treat them like a champion. And we treated these kids like champions. And so we're going to build them a beautiful facility. We're going to take care of them. We're going to get them the best apparel deal in Alabama. They're going to wear the best equipment. They're going to be treated like a champion. And guess what? Eventually we're going to win. So that's what it's all about.
It's 256 lives changed, Coach.
I think so.
That's for sure.
I think so.
More than that, but for sure, that's putting those 256 with a full ride college scholarship.
No doubt.
That's changing their lives right there. Coach, congratulations on the win tonight. First of many, as we said, coming, I'm sure, at Pell City. Thank you for coming with us and being with us here on After the Game. Rush Probst, head football coach of the Pell City Panthers. Winners tonight over Huffman, 69-0. More of After the Game presented by the Calhoun County Commission in just a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, Shop Ted's.
Yeah, we just had our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser live from the RMC Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Speaking of RMC, if you're looking for primary care, they've got the right care, and it's right here in Anniston, Oxford, Jacksonville, and Roanoke. You can learn more at rmccares.org/family medicine. That's rmccares.org. Back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett. We're going to give you some Oxford highlights in just a moment. But one of the highlights at Oxford was our concession stand of the week. Johnson's Giant Food concession stand of the week was the Oxford Band Boosters tonight. And boy, there was some hot items down there. Coach will talk about that in just a moment. Right now, let's take you down to Oxford High School for the Oxford Band Boosters concession stand. We are at Oxford High School tonight. This is the Oxford Band Booster concession stand. We've got not one but two items tonight on our Johnson's Giant Food concession stand of the week. We've got a jacket dog. That's what Don's going to eat. And then we've got a Sting Burger. That's what Coach Short is going to eat. We have Brian Trussell with us. No, not Brian Trussell. Daniel Trussell with us here. He is the vice president of the Band Booster Club. So here we go. We got a jacket dog. Am I correct here, Coach? That's a jacket dog and a Sting Burger, right? Burger. And that Sting Burger, Sting, tell us about it.
Well, I mean, I took a bite, and they said it was going to be, a little bit hot, spicy. My goodness.
Coach was coughing as much as I was.
I mean, yeah, every bite, okay, you have jalapenos, but every bite I took in out of that, which is the whole hamburger, but the last bite had a jalapeno on it. And it was good, very good. And I don't know, y'all didn't hear that part, but the quote about the Valley Dog, he says the jacket dog may rival the Valley Dog, so maybe the Valley people may bring some Valley Dogs.
Don Wilson had the jacket dog tonight, and he says that it is going to give the Valley Dog, he's had both, going to give the Valley Dog a run for its money. Yeah. So anyway, great folks down there with the Oxford Band Booster concession stand. They will receive a $100 gift certificate from Johnson's Giant Food, 5 locations, Coldwater, Jacksonville, downtown Gadsden, Attala, and also in East Gadsden as well. So they can buy supplies for their concession stand. Of course, we're going to have some online voting. We're going to let all you folks out there settle this at the end of the year with our concession stand of the year voting that we'll have right here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. Then we headed out to the field, Chad, for the game tonight. A top 10 matchup in Class 6A. Number 2, Clay Chalkville. Number 9, Oxford.
A lot of people looking forward to this one. There's been a lot of shocking defeats and wins over the 2023 season, but none more so than what Clay Chalkville did a few weeks back, knocking off then number 1 in Class 7A and 4-time defending state champion Thompson in week 6 of the high school football season. Oxford, though, fresh off a open date, looking to see if they can reshock the state and knock off Thompson tonight on the or at home at Lamar Field. Let's check out the highlights and see. It's 21-0 at half, so it's not looking like they're gonna, because it was a close game last year, 5-point game. Oxford here starting out on offense. Jaden Thomas gets the 14-yard pass from quarterback Mason Mims, setting up a first down for the Yellow Jackets. But Oxford facing a 4th down and 14 at the Clay Chalkville 40, and Mims' pass going to be incomplete. Got to fight back for that ball, maybe get a PI. Anyway, so Clay Chalkville takes over. They have a 4th and 2 at the Oxford 48, and they get the first down with a 3-yard run. Coach Sam Adams hoping his team can bounce back and come back to defeat the Cougars. Clay Chalkville, Mario Craver, 18-yard pass from quarterback Jalen Mbakwe. We're going to hear a lot about him in the future. Alabama commit, phenomenal athlete, and he shows you why. Makes a couple of big plays there. But this pass from Mbakwe is going to get picked off in the end zone. That was a big play right there because Cedric Twyman keeps it a 21-0 game. We would leave at 21-0. Oxford would bounce back a little bit, but not enough to knock off those feisty Cougars tonight. 28-14. Big win tonight for them.
Chad, here's how good Clay. It's an embarrassment of riches at Clay Chalkville. They've got so many college prospects. They got a lineman who's 6'9", 375, and can move. Yeah. Coach Short had been there for the entire first half. We had been to Donahoe, came there, got there at the half, and I asked Coach, I said, Mbakwe is going to Alabama as a 5-star defensive back, one of the top DBs in America, and he doesn't even play defense. He doesn't even play on the defense. I asked Coach Short, I said, Coach, does he not play any on defense? No, they just play him at quarterback. So you know you have an embarrassment of riches when you've got one of the top defensive backs in America, and he doesn't even play on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and his future head coach made an appearance there for just a few minutes, I guess, to let him know that I'm here, and you're not going to be playing quarterback at Alabama. You're going to be over there playing.
So you're saying Coach Saban was there at Oxford tonight?
Yes, he made an appearance. Not long, but he made an appearance because nowadays they have a big game tomorrow, and made an appearance there to let Mbakwe know that he's there. And but the thing about it is, Oxford.
All I'm thinking is, why don't we get the video of that?
Yes, well, that was before y'all got there.
Before we got there, okay.
All I have was
you're off the hook. Namath, you're off the hook. You get it.
That had to create quite I would imagine the place kind of went crazy when.
No, because he kind of eased over there in the corner. Nobody saw it, and he's right back out the door.
Wow.
They were wanting to make sure that Mbakwe saw him because they were going in and out of that gate right there. That's who he wanted to see.
Okay.
Because, the big lineman, the 6'9" giant, is going to Oregon. You notice his yellow gloves he had on? But Oxford, the opening drive, got all the way down to the 14, 15-yard line, stalled out, and missed a field goal. That's when it would have been 7-3. And then Clay Chalkville scored a touchdown right there with no time left to make it 21. Or it would have been 14-0, or could have been 14-3 right there for the half. So I felt like Oxford did everything they could to keep it close at halftime. If you took and put Oxford players right here and that embarrassment of riches over here on the other side, it's not even close as far as size and the number of people that can run. I thought Coach Adams and them did an excellent job keeping it close. And then they score to get, they're 21, and you know how they got 28? Oxford throws a screen pass, and it's behind the line of scrimmage. They pick it up and run it back for a touchdown. That made it 28-7. Oxford scores there late to make it 14, and you score late, kick it an onside kick and get it. You never know, but I thought it was a very close ball game. I thought Oxford did everything they could, like I said, to keep it close, and I thought they actually had a good game plan, and there's just you could tell the difference in the numbers of athletes on both sides. Kamari Hampton tonight was being double covered everywhere he went. They had 2 people running with him, so that shows how good he is. For another team with the talent that they have, to be able to double cover him, that tells you how good that he is.
Well, you got some D1 programs that are going back both ways now. I know we got the Travis Hunter kid at Colorado, but there was another kid that we were just talking about him last night. I think he played Thursday night. He was a receiver, or he was a DB, and now he's playing quarterback. So, for D1 schools to be having to do that, and then you've got this guy who's a stud, not even playing on defense, and he's going to be a.
Well, they've got 5. They've got 5. They got 5 Power 5 guys that are 4 or 5 stars just on that team. Not counting all the 3 stars. There's a bunch of those. But say his name one more time.
Mbakwe.
Mbakwe is a 10-2 100-meter guy. 10-2. That's world-class speed. That's Olympic type speed.
Yes, it is.
Him and the kid at Saraland. Boy, if they meet each other, just not looking too far ahead, but if they do, those 2 right there both are Olympic-type runners and sprinters.
It's coming to Bryant-Denny Stadium on, Friday night, December 8th. It's coming. Clay Chalkville and Saraland.
And those Oregon gloves might not be Oregon gloves by the time signing day gets here. Have you seen Alabama's line? We need some help here.
Yeah, but he's come along. He has come a long way. That kid has, because I can remember seeing him a couple years ago, and he's kind of a little bit heavier. Wherever he goes, he's going to have to do like Jameer Otis. He's going to have to lose about 80 pounds in order to be more mobile.
Worked out well for Otis.
So let's go and look now at our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Region Rundown, Class 6A Region 6. Guys, tonight, this was in essence to decide the region championship between Clay Chalkville and Oxford. Now, Oxford has got Center Point coming up next week. That will be a big game. You would think Oxford will be the favorite there, but Oxford needs to win that one to wrap up home field advantage in the playoffs. The thing about Oxford coming into this season, we kind of talked in the offseason that we thought Oxford in the next step in the progression of the program was to get a home playoff game. To win maybe 8 football games. I think Oxford's in a position to possibly do that. They're in a position to go a couple of rounds or maybe further in the state playoffs in 6A. I think Sam Adams has got this thing exactly where he wants it, because this is still a young Oxford team. This is a team that is very heavily junior laden.
They are, in the thing, like you said, their quarterback. is a difference maker also. I mean, he was harassed a lot tonight and was able to make,
He's a really good player.
he had to throw a lot of passes tonight in small areas because they can cover so well. And I thought they did an excellent job, but that is a monstrous game for them in Center Point. Because, I mean, to be able to host the first round at home is very important in any classification, but especially in 6A.
Can we touch on this for just a second? Talk about the situation between Shades Valley and Pell City. With the appeal, non-appeal, how is this going to play out?
Well,
depending
I
on
think
what
Pell
happens.
City is still waiting.
They're still waiting to hear back,
They're still
right?
waiting to hear officially from the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Central Board met this week. They did not rule on that game, so we'll see what happens. If Pell City possibly could get that win back over Center Point,
How
they're
does that
in
look?
great
Let's
shape
say, let's
for
say
getting
they
the playoffs.
do win the appeal, they get some word next week by that time. How does this play out for that fourth spot?
Well, they've beaten Huffman. They would have beaten Center Point there. And then they've got Pinson Valley coming up, as Coach Prope said on Thursday night. So they would be in really good shape to get in the playoffs. And how big would that be to come in his first year and take this team to the state playoffs? It'd be huge. Class 6A Region 8, there's not a lot of question about what's going to happen in this region. Everybody's battling for second here. Looks like Buckhorn, Fort Payne, Mae Jemison, Lee of Huntsville, battling, those four teams battling for the last three spots there. But Gadsden City, another big win tonight. The Titans doing what they did last year, getting into region play and dominating tonight as they won at Lee of Huntsville 41-0 tonight. Titans look like that they are going to be a contender in Class 6A in the North, 5-0 in region play. We come back, more of high school football, Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission on this Football Friday night.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated. Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Young Oil Grub Mart. Great folks at Young Oil Company. Locations all across East Alabama, Cherokee County down to Lee County. They're all over the place. They have their Super Saver card, their Marathon Rewards card. Great information at their website at grubmart.com. They got jobs available, all kind of things going on. Quality gasoline, farm fuel, industrial fuel. They've got it all at Grub Mart. Grub Mart, great supporters. The Young Oil family has been great supporters of high school football. One of the ways they do that is with our muscle team. The Young Oil muscle team this week is the Piedmont offensive line. There's the starters. This is the offensive line. When last week they fell behind to Glencoe at home on homecoming 12-0, they bullied their way to 58 consecutive points. That offensive line did. These guys are Sam Talbert, Tanner Curvin, Jonah Pike, Braylon Williams, and Noah Farmer. That's your Piedmont offensive line. They will get the Grub Mart Muscle Team 2023 shirts. Those are on the way to Piedmont. The Piedmont offensive line is our muscle team this week, courtesy of the folks at Young Oil Grub Mart. And we're going to stay talking about Class 3A Region 6. Huge game tonight, and I told some folks this week, don't be surprised if Hoax Bluff gives Sylvania all they want. Maybe don't be surprised if they win this game, and they very nearly did tonight out at Mike Robertson Stadium. Sylvania comes in. They escape literally with a win, 28-21 over the Hoax Bluff Eagles.
Outstanding game. And you know what has been an incredibly deep class in 3A Region 6, Sylvania has kind of stood out amongst the field. The only blemish on the season, they lost on the road to Pisgah at the hands of the Eagles there. But what would Hoax Bluff and the Eagles say about it tonight as Sylvania rolls into Mike Robertson Field? Set to the highlights and check out how those Eagles did. We arrive 14-7 is the score in the third quarter. Griffin Turner, quarterback for Sylvania, going to have his pass picked off by Bryce Whitaker, who takes it back to the house. Touchdown Eagles. That puts the Eagles up 21-7 at that point. Mike Robertson talking over with his team. Rams, though, back on offense, and Aiden Parham gets the first down run. Tough run by number 2. Rams go back to Parham. This time he is going to be stopped just short of the goal line. But, man, physical running right there to get it down to the 2-yard line. Next play, Parham is going to punch it in for the score. PAT is good, and Rams are up 21-14. Rams back to work. Turner's pass is going to be complete to Roman McKeon for the first down for the Rams. Turner now back and goes to McKeon once again. This time another Sylvania first down as he gets out of bounds. Next play, Parham. He's going to punch it in for the score for the Rams. PAT good, and the Rams tie it up here at 21 apiece. Talk about a good ball game here. So Parham, he's going to get this handoff, and he's going to go right side for a first down. Nice tight shot there by the cameraman as we get a first down for the Rams. A few plays later, Rams go back to Parham. Again, another first down. Tough running again. He will not be denied until the 1. So he goes down, and Sylvania, though, they're going to punch this one, and Zach Anderson gets in there for the score. For the Rams, they would take a 28-21 lead. After being down 21-7, they go on to win it tonight at Mike Robertson Field, as we talked about. Phenomenal football game as Sylvania wins by 7, 28-21.
Well, Coach, as you know, championship teams, it looks like tonight Sylvania wrapped up the region championship. They always have that one game where they're going to be challenged. And tonight they faced that game. They were down 21-7 on the road against a good Hoax Bluff team. But those good championship teams respond, and Sylvania have to give them all the credit. They responded tonight.
And this is the type of game that was made for Hoax Bluff, a physical team. They don't want, they did throw it some, but they're not going to throw it 30, 40 times a game. They're going to try to run the football and be real physical. And that's the kind of game that Hoax Bluff wants. That's the kind of game that Hoax Bluff got tonight. And you always know that Coach Rob's going to have his team ready for one of those type of games. And, just super impressed. God, his grass still looks good. I hate to say that, but that's the first thing I noticed, how good his field looks. And you know what? We talked tonight with Spring Garden about the kind of people and the support they get. Oaks Bluff's the same way. They always have great support. The people give them everything they want. But you know what? All this we've talked about, Pisgah must be pretty good because Sylvania's good.
Yeah.
Until they be five, it's
Then that
pretty
means
good
how
too.
good is Fife?
Yeah, that's
Because
what I'm
Fife had
saying.
their way
They
tonight.
were up, they've won 56-42, Fife did
they
over
were up
Pisgah,
big.
but they were up 56-28 at one point in time, and so there you go.
That means one of the Pruitts tonight was victorious.
Yes.
Well, it actually wasn't, but I'm just,
Yeah.
the Pruitt families.
Is there a more dominant program than Fife over the last 20 years?
They've been the most dominant program in,
1A
I think, the
through
last
7A.
10 years. They've been the most
Yes.
dominant program in Alabama, regardless of classification.
Yeah, and Benefield's not going anywhere. It doesn't appear to be.
I don't think so. Don't think
Why?
he's going anywhere.
I don't know.
Where are you going to go for?
Maybe he's tired of beating everybody. I don't know, Coach.
The big
No,
red machine.
them guys, no.
Not the case.
Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Region rundown. We're going to Class 4A now. Hanley tonight with that win over Cleveland County. They've wrapped it up. They've beaten everybody in the region, I believe. They've beaten Jacksonville. They've beaten Anniston. They've beaten Cleveland County. They have beaten White Plains, Munford, Talladega. So it looks like they've pretty much wrapped things up there. I'm probably missing someone, but Hanley is in control. Jacksonville, number 2. Anniston, number 3. Number 4. This is where it gets interesting here because you've still got Cleveland County still alive, White Plains, Munford. You've got a lot going on there for that number 4 spot in the region, and it's going to come down now. Going to come down to these non-region games coming up. That's going to tell the tale here, especially the White Plains Westbrook game. That's the big game right now.
Who could have thought? Because when they got everything pulled from about a month ago, there was a lot of people online that said, well, they can pull their playoff contention away anyway. The White Plains is not going to make the playoffs. Oh, not so fast. I mean, they
win
almost
last week, yeah.
did it tonight. They almost, in overtime, they took Munford to overtime. In between the last 3 weeks, you go from the juxtaposition from being over to the way they played the last 3 weeks. I mean, can you be more impressed with the way they're finishing this year?
They really have done well, and take your hat off to Munford tonight. Their back
Sure,
was against the
absolutely.
wall,
Yep.
and they go to overtime and they win the game. Coach,
Yep.
I think you got some stats on that game.
Well, Munford wins the game, and I knew going into the game that the thing that White Plains was going to have to do, they got a smart staff. We got to stop the Tank. Tank Edmondson. Tonight, Tank Edmondson rushed for 260 yards and 3 touchdowns, and B.J. Anderson had 135 rushing yards, 56 passing yards. He threw 1 pass for a touchdown, and they had 1 rushing touchdown. And what they don't know is they went for 2. So White Plains was down on the 1-yard line, 4th down and 1. They're in overtime when they had to score and get a 2-point conversion just to tie it and send it to the second overtime. So credit to Coach Easley
I
and
was
his
gonna say,
staff
that's
for
gutsy
going into
by
White
Easley
Plains. Yes, to go for 2
like that, yeah.
Well, you're
Good
putting
for
a lot
him.
of pressure, especially, but that's what you do on the road.
Yeah.
Put somebody on, put the pressure on them.
Yeah.
Class 4A Region 6 now. Cherokee County just continues to roll. They had not visited Jim Glover Field in Natalis since the 1985 season, and tonight they go in and they beat Etowah tonight 49-0. That just doesn't ever happen. Somebody going into Jim Glover Field and winning 49-0. So it's pretty clear now. Cherokee County the 1, Aniana the 2. Then we got 3 teams really battling for those last 2 spots there: Etowah, Fultondale, and Good Hope. And it's that's going to come down again probably to some tiebreakers. We could have a 3-way tie there for that 3rd spot there and the 4th spot in Class 4A Region 6. But Cherokee County just continues to roll.
You know, me and you went to a game last year around Thanksgiving.
We did.
We might be going back up there again.
It is very possible. Aniana is improving every week. And they won tonight, scored 63 points against Asheville. Won the game 63-39. So
5 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter.
wow. Aniana's
How
getting it
can you
rolling
get that?
again. They're back in the top 10. And don't be surprised, as Coach said, if Aniana's not back in there once again, making a deep playoff run. Time now for our next Red Threads extra point of the night. We're a little bit behind on extra points tonight, so let's catch back up. There will be 4 new schools joining the AHSAA in the 24-25 school year. And yes, I've already got the locations and the nicknames of these schools. Yeah, the Glenwood Academy Gators of Smith Station, the Lee Scott Academy Warriors of Auburn, the Pickens Academy Pirates of Carrollton, and the Autauga Academy Generals of Prattville, all moving to full athletic competition beginning with fall sports next year in the Alabama High School Athletic Association. We'll be back with more of After the Game.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement. With physical therapy tailored to his needs, a dedicated team of doctors and nurses, and he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that?
Right here at RMC.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The Calhoun County Commission bringing you high school football Alabama's After the Game. They're our title sponsor. County Commissioners Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, supporting not only our local schools, but great parks and recreational facilities, and great supporters of just everything that has to do with quality of life here in East Alabama, like bringing you high school football Alabama's After the Game. And so we want to thank all the folks of the county commission, those county commissioners working hard. One thing I can tell you about all 5 of those individuals in the county commission, they absolutely love and care about Calhoun County. Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, your Calhoun County Commission. And back on After the Game on this football Friday night with Coach Short and with Chad Barnett. We mentioned earlier talking about that Cherokee County Warrior team. We were there tonight for that first visit in 37 years I guess it was 38 years. 38 years. First visit in 38 years to Jim Glover Field in Attala, Cherokee County, and Etowah, and it was all Center Warriors tonight, Chad.
Yeah, interesting storyline here, too, because you got a great team in Cherokee County coming. But let's talk about Etowah. Losing a head coach is never easy, but that's exactly what Etowah found themselves in after a day before the Week 3 contest. But the Blue Devils have handled it fairly well, going 3-2 in their 5 region contests and setting themselves up in playoff contention. But tonight would be their toughest of the season as the second-ranked Cherokee County Warriors come into Jim Glover Field. Let's go to the highlights and see how this one played out as the Warriors looking strong all year, and it would be a lot more of the Warriors show tonight. And guess who, y'all? Who's that guy? Have y'all seen him before?
Cornejo.
Jacob Cornejo with a big first down. A few plays later, Keyshawn Wood's going to take the direct snap. He's going to take it for another first down. Then Cornejo, he's going to take this one, and he's not going to be stopped until pay dirt. He's going to take it 50 yards for the Warrior touchdown. Cherokee County is up 7-0 after the PAT is good. There's the proof right there. It is good. 7-0 Warriors. Coach Kelly talking it up with his team. Man, he's done a great job in center, has he not? Etowah, though, on offense, Jamison Sism's pass is going to be picked off by none other than, who's that guy again? Cornejo. Again, a pick. So Warriors back on offense now. Cornejo again. Hard-fought first down. You think it's only him, but there is a ton of players on this team. It is not just number 9. Woods pushes it through for another big first down for the Warriors as he fights through a slew of Blue Devil defenders. And then to cap it off, Cornejo in there for the touchdown. They would be up 14-0 at this point, and that's where we would leave Jim Glover Field in Attala as Cherokee County tonight stays perfect on the season, holds their number 2 rank in the state, 49-0 over Etowah.
Yeah, we talk about 5 being a machine. Cherokee County's been a machine this year, and they are rolling to 8-0 region champions, it looks like, out of Class 4A Region 6. Let's go back now and look at more region play. Region rundown presented by Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden. We're going to Class 1A right now. Class 1A Region 6. Wadley pretty much wrapped it up tonight with that win over Winterboro. They've beaten everybody. They've beaten Raglan. They've beaten Spring Garden. They've beaten pretty much everyone in this region. But now we've got this that we talked about with Coach Barrett Ragsdale of Spring Garden earlier when he was on the show. Home field advantage, which is huge, especially in 1A this year. Raglan and Spring Garden next week at Spring Garden. That's the game that's going to decide 2 and 3 in this region.
Yeah, it is important because, earlier this year we talked about maybe 4, maybe had to play 1. That team we've been saying might end up 4, might end up 3rd.
They could.
Very well could be 3. So whoever's 2 may say, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what I say, uh-oh. But, it's a huge ball game. And I think Spring Garden is, we watched them early in the year, and they were doing some new things on offense, something that they wasn't quite used to do, and still doing a lot of the old stuff, but new coach wanted to add some new things, and I think now they're starting to get rolling, and they're getting used to some of the new stuff that they did, and it just takes time.
Coach Skylar Mansfield doing a good job with the Winterboro Bulldogs, keeping them in the contention. Are they done?
I think Winterboro is going to be that 4 team. It looks like they lost tonight to Wadley, but they're going to be the 4 team. It looks like Wadley the 1 team. So right now we're deciding 2 and 3, and that will be decided next week out at Spring Garden. That team you were talking about, Coach, Class 1A Region 7, the Coosa Christian Conquerors. They conquered Appalachian tonight. They were at the bottom with those forfeited games. They beat Cedar Bluff last week. They beat Appalachian tonight. They're climbing up. Now they're in the middle of the pack. They beat Woodville next week, and they will have the head-to-head tiebreakers over Appalachian and Woodville. Already beaten Cedar Bluff. Gainesville, though they had to forfeit that, doesn't matter. Decatur Heritage wrapped up the region title. Valley Head will be 2. You're right, Coach. Now it looks like Coosa Christian probably is going to be 3.
Mike could see a rematch.
Could see a Spring Garden rematch. Could see, how about a Coosa Christian and Raglan rematch? But a Coosa Christian Raglan match up at Joan Ford Stadium in Raglan. That's looking like what could happen here. That's a big ball. There's a huge ball game next week between Spring Garden and Raglan. Because again, as we said, not only your first round opponent, but that seeding the higher seed gets home field. So if you're at 2, you may meet up another 3 or a 4 or whatever down the line. That can guarantee you some more home games in the playoffs.
And I promise you, I know people like Coosa Christian, and people would say, well, why does Spring Garden want to be second? Look, I was at the Spring Garden Coosa Christian game. That was not as, I know what the score indicated was not really what it was like. They had 4 turnovers that night.
Mm-hmm.
And, that game would be at...
that game would be at Spring Garden again,
Yes.
because Spring Garden
yes.
will be the... So, and that was just a 21-6 game in Spring Garden with 4
it
turnovers.
was, and that was 21 points for a half. So it wasn't. Plus, I hope it is. I mean, I kind of hope it's there because,
Yeah, if Spring Garden can beat Ragland, that's going to be a tough task.
And that's at where? At Spring Garden?
That game is at Spring Garden, yes.
People at Spring Garden, get those steak sandwiches made. I may come visit y'all again this week.
Boys ready to go.
Let's tell you about the Calhoun County Quarterback Club. They are winding down their season, but you can still be a part of that. And they do so much more than just having their meetings where they bring the great speakers in, but they do a lot of things in the offseason. Trent Dilfer, former NFL quarterback, now the head football coach at UAB, he'll be right here in Anniston this coming Monday night at the Anniston Country Club. And the next Monday, John Cohen, the new AD at Auburn University, will be in town. You can be a part of that. Contact Kevin Gibson at 453-4886. You can also be a part of things that they have coming up with their scholarship program in the spring and then in the summer. You can be a part of helping out with the Media Day, which they do an awesome job with that. Again, Kevin Gibson, 453-4886. Back with more after the game presented by the Calhoun County Commission in just a moment.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed Vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ, a place to use the gifts and talents God has given you, a place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
We talk a lot about food here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, and you can't talk about food without talking about Johnson's Giant Food. 5 locations to serve you here in East Alabama and Calhoun and Etowah counties. 3 locations in the Gadsden area, Gadsden to downtown, East Gadsden and in Attala. 2 locations in Calhoun County, located in Jacksonville and in Coldwater. And listen, this time of year is the best time of year to go to Johnson's because they have the best meats. If you're grilling out for those tailgates, if you're going to Auburn tomorrow, if you're going to Tuscaloosa tomorrow for those big games, man, Johnson's, you need to go by and get all your supplies for that. They got everything for your tailgate needs. Maybe you're not going to grill out. Maybe you just want to take some things to the spread. Their deli at all 5 locations is fantastic. They've got the great chicken fingers and chicken salad and fried chicken and ribs. You name it, Johnson's Giant Food. 5 locations to serve you here in East Alabama. Back on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Coach and Chad Barnett back with us. We talked just in that last segment about Spring Garden tonight. Coach Ragsdale said they were off to a little bit of a slow start, and I agree with him. They were not razor sharp at the beginning of the game, but they were still up 20-0 when we left by midway through the second quarter. Kind of put it on cruise tonight and spoiled Donahoe's homecoming. We'll see some homecoming highlights from Donahoe tonight, which is always a sight to see.
Always a sight to see. And, I tell you, Donahoe last week, so close to getting that first win of the season. After losing in comeback fashion with TCC in front of their homecoming crowd, they would have another opportunity for a win tonight, though, as Spring Garden comes into Linsfield tonight, 6-2 on the season. So let's go to those highlights at Linsfield. And there it is, senior night / homecoming for the Donahoe Falcons. And it might not have been the season they wanted to this point, but still good to honor those folks that have done so much, worked so hard. And then the Corvettes in reverse. I wasn't sure if that was.
Back them all
they got to back them all up. Okay.
Around, yeah.
Fancy car, though. So homecoming night for the Donahoe Falcons, and Josh Welch was going to make sure that they would not get the victory tonight because he has 3 massive runs in a row, 14 yards, 14 yards. This one is for 19 yards, and he sets him up with a nice 1st and goal from the 4. Connor Bates, he's going to take the rest of the way. 1-yard touchdown. PAT is good. Spring Garden's up 7-0. Donahoe quarterback Kai Kleckler, 18-yard pass completed to Marcus Lawler. Young kid there, going to be a good player. Donahoe now facing 4th and 4. Spring Garden 38. The pass incomplete by Kleckler, and Spring Garden will take over on offense. Noah Barber completes to John Welch for a 49-yard touchdown. Spring Garden up 14-0 after the PAT was good. Then more negative plays here. This would be a muffed punt for Donahoe, and Spring Garden would take over. So now they will go back to the air one more time. Noah Barber, this time finding Welch again. It's like a one-man band. It's almost like Cornejo here. Touchdown, 20-0 Spring Garden at this point. PAT no good. Kleckler now finding Lawler again for a 16-yard gain. Kleckler, though, would be intercepted by Spring Garden's Noah Barber, who makes a nice play, turning back, finding the ball, and picking it off. And then Spring Garden's Noah Barber again. This a 13-yard run. Just a lot of Spring Garden tonight, and it's been that way a lot of weeks. So it's not just Donahoe. They're facing a very tough team tonight. Spring Garden goes to 7-2 on the season, 49-7.
But nobody beats Donahoe as far as putting on a homecoming. It's legendary to me, and it was tonight. See, you just saw a sampling of the cars that they lined up to put the homecoming court on. They were coming down the hill with those things, and I mean every kind of classic cars like the 50s, the new cars like the Corvettes. I mean, there had to be $500,000, $1 million of cars out
Probably
there.
on the low end, I think.
No one challenges Donahoe on homecoming, I'll promise
It's like they say, Ole Miss never loses a tailgate.
Yeah.
Donahoe never loses a homecoming in that aspect.
Yeah, they may lose the homecoming
game, but
they don't lose the homecoming festivities tonight. Spring Garden wins the game 49-7. Let's tell you about Team Sports. They bring you our Team Sports highlights every week, just like they brought you those Donahoe Spring Garden highlights. They serve over 100 schools in this local area, and they provide all sporting goods needs, apparel and jerseys, accessories, equipment. They're family owned and operated. They've been around for 15 years, and they are very close. They're going to open a storefront that the public can go into on McClellan in Anniston at 135 Exchange Avenue. I've been out. I've already seen that. It's going to be fantastic. They provide our jersey, our custom-made jersey that we give our Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week, the one we presented to Jabari Williams. We'll see that presentation coming up a little bit later on in the show. Team Sports bringing you our highlights here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. Time for another Red Threads Extra Point. This is important. The AHSAA will announce the reclassification for fall sports for the 2024-25 and 25-26 school years Monday, December the 18th. All schools, Athletic Association, reclassify every 2 years to determine classifications and regions and areas in all sports. This will be for the fall sports that they'll announce Monday, December 18th. Of course, classifications based on school enrollment, and with private schools, also competitive balance factors. We're going to have much more about High School Football Alabama potentially being involved with this. We'll just give you a little hint on that. But the reclassification is always a big day in high school sports, and it is coming Monday morning, December the 18th. Back with more of After the Game.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand. The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Team One Chevrolet brings you our region rundown. Team One Chevrolet right now, they have 0% financing on new Chevy Silverados, plus no payment for 90 days. Low finance rates can save you thousands, literally, right now in finance charges. Plus, you won't have a payment due until after New Year's. Team One Chevy, 413 East Megan Boulevard. That's US Highway 431 in East Gadsden. Also, remember they have a full body repair shop approved by all major insurance companies. No hassle, no getting multiple estimates. And they still have the Alabama-Auburn tailgate packages to be given away in November during the week of the Iron Bowl. We mentioned just a few moments ago Team Sports bringing you the jerseys for our Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week. Today, we had the plaque from Awards to Remember and Farmers and Merchants Bank to Jabari Williams, the outstanding running back from the Walter Welborn High School Panthers. He's this week's Player of the Week. He also got the custom team jersey. We presented that at the pep rally today out at Walter Welborn. Jabari Williams in that region, what is going to wind up being a region championship clinching win over Randolph County last week. He carried the ball 26 times, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 14-yard touchdown run, and also a 1-yard touchdown run. We're about to see here this custom jersey. We were out at the pep rally today. That 1-yard touchdown run may not have been a long touchdown run, but it came with 2.2 seconds to go in the game, and it was the game winner last week. And I'm going to tell you, I was up close and personal with Jabari. When I unveiled that jersey with his name on the back that said Williams, guys, I'll just tell you, his face lit up with a big smile, not only for that plaque from Farmers and Merchants Bank, but this jersey right here, he really loved that.
Must feel pretty good because he continued that tonight. He had a couple of big runs in this game tonight. It was 75-yarder for a touchdown, too.
Yeah, we saw that 75-yard touchdown run.
Playing well tonight.
Here we go there. We're showing that to the crowd there. At Welborn today, they had not only the high school, but they brought all the elementary kids there as well. And you'll see the jersey right there as we presented it to him. Look at that smile on his face, getting that jersey from Team Sports. Our Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week, Jabari Williams of the Walter Welborn High School Panthers. Had a great time. Thanks for all the hospitality with Team of the Week and Player of the Week out at Welborn today. Earlier, we had Coach Rush Probst in. Honored to have him here with us. Going to go down in history as one of the greatest high school coaches in this state's history, probably in national history as well. Trying to get the thing going at Pell City. And tonight they had it going against Huffman, 69-0. Jan, you were there at the game tonight at Pete Rich Alumni Stadium.
Had it going really well tonight. You know, both teams come into this game looking for their quote-unquote official first win of the season, but we know Pell City already does have a win. They had it forfeited back in Week 4 against Centerpoint, but tonight a win over the Vikings would keep them alive in the playoff race. Let's go down to Pell City and check out these highlights because there were lots of them for the Panthers as they would take on the Vikings tonight. There you see Rush Probst, head coach, phenomenal coach here in the state of Georgia. I mean, and you just give him time, folks. He's going to do some good things here at Pell City. First drive of the night, didn't take him long to really have some explosive plays. Landon Strong, a big 35-yard gain for the Panthers. He's out of bounds on the left side, and they would go back to the ground game. Tell you, this kid's really come on of late. We saw him in the Oxford game a couple weeks ago. Caleb Gross, 17 yards for a first down for the Panthers. Not a lot of fight that they are putting up as far as Huffman on that defensive side. Gross would take it in there for the touchdown, 7-0. The extra point would be good, and the Panthers are up by a touchdown. Now on defense, a lot of gang tackling you will see from this Panthers defense. 22 with a big sack there, and that would be about all that Vikings would do on that first drive and give it back to Pell City. And they have a Strong with the touchdown run this time for 29 yards. He's going to take it to the right side into the end zone. It's going to be 14-0 after the PAT good. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, looking strong. There you go. See the other coach, not just Probst. Courtney Upshaw, former Alabama great in the NFL with the Ravens, I believe, teaching that defensive line how to play football, and they did really well tonight. Defensive line just pushing back, and the Panthers just all over the Vikings as they had no answer for that Pell City defense. Back on offense now. I've called his name twice already, and we'll call it a third time. Strong with a strong touchdown run, this time for 30 yards out. 21-0 at this point, as this PAT would be good, and the Pell City Panthers would roll tonight, 69-0.
Well, guys, you know, when Coach Probst was here earlier on the show, and this is not going to be a big shocking statement to anyone when you start talking about Rush Probst, but there was a quiet confidence. I think he would probably say, Coach, and you know him very well, you are great friends, this is maybe the biggest challenge he's had in coaching at Pell City, but there was a quiet confidence. You could just sense it here that he's going to get this thing going at Pell City. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Coach, that's kind of what I sense. I don't know if you sense that or not.
Every job he's ever taken, they were down at the time. Even Hoover was down at the time, but they were schools that had won a championship before most of the time. Asheville, he kind of got it, after what happened for Coach Clark. But then he went to Eufaula. They've been there and done that before. Then he goes to, now he went to Alma Bryant for a lot of money. But Alma Bryant was not Alma Bryant when he first got there. It was two little bitty small schools that they put together, and then he had them at, two schools that had not won, brought them together. In the first year, they went 12-2, and then Hoover come calling. But Hoover had not either. Then he goes to Colquitt County, and Colquitt County had won before, but they were down when he got there. They give him everything he needed, and they win. Well, we went to Valdosta. We all know about Valdosta. Wintersville, USA. And then a couple of years off, and they takes Pell City. They've not won a championship. They've won some games, but it's not been there in other sports. So, this is his biggest challenge.
Jay Brown, probably the last coach to have Pell City rolling, right?
David Shores, Jay.
And then you go all the way back into the 80s.
Well, but Etheridge didn't have them winning big, did they? I don't know.
Nobody had them winning big. No.
Well, Jay Brown, I think he had some 10-win teams with Bam Sanders and all them. They had some really good football teams in the early 2000s.
They had a good team back in 2000.
Yeah.
But they got beat in the playoffs. And you know who beat them? Hoover.
And in 1986,
it's all full circle.
I'm going way back. In 1986, they played Thanksgiving night at Murphy Stadium in Gadsden against Gadsden High. Lost that game. They were the favorites. David Gullidge, great quarterback at Jacksonville State, was the quarterback at Pell City. And they lost to Gadsden High on Thanksgiving night 9-7 on a last-second pass by Gadsden High. And Gadsden High, that's the year when we basically began the season there with lost their first 4 games or something, like 4-5, went into the playoffs with a losing record, won a state championship. And in the semifinals, that was the semifinals, Pell City was the favorite to win a state championship that year. That's probably the best season that they've ever had, but we're talking about that's 37 years ago.
And they're in the location. A lot of times you hear coaches talk about, if we're going to take a job, it's got to be in a good location. And they are in a good location. And you know why the 18th of December is important? To see where Pell City goes. To see what classification they're going to be in.
It's important to everybody around here. Not only what class, but if you don't change classes, even if you stay in your class, who's going to be in your region?
And if you're going to be north or south, is people don't realize how important it is to maybe move north.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So one thing I want to touch on, though, is because, we talk about him. He's going to be heralded as one of the best coaches in history, right? He's also one of the most polarizing coaches in history. And everybody wants to see that because it would make a phenomenal book. His story, right? I mean, because so many ups and downs and just all the great that went with it. Everybody wants to see that book or something like that, but he's still writing chapters. And there's going to be more chapters written here at Pell City. And it's going to be interesting what those turn out to because there's probably going to be a lot more winning involved there.
Well, the nature of human beings, take Coach Saban. The only people that like Coach Saban is Alabama people. You think about it. Why? Because he wins. And there's controversy everywhere, but people tend to dislike people that win a lot.
Without a doubt.
Because nobody wants people to win a lot.
Coach Saban's got a word for that. I think he says high-level people don't like low-level people, or that type of mindset. They don't jive together. So.
It's there.
We'll be back with more of After the Game. We've got the East Alabama Top 10 coming up, and we've not forgotten, we also have our latest nominees from Cherokee County High School and from Weaver High School in our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship. That plus Team of the Week still to come.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed Vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at F&M.bank. Member FDIC.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
After 15 years of supplying top-quality, name-brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you are an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
Awards to remember at awardstoremember.com, celebrating 40 years in business. One of the top 10 dealers in the Southeast for plaques, trophies, medals, all types of awards. They also do screen printing and embroidery. They have $100,000 in new screen printing equipment. Think of Awards to Remember for your custom garments for your school, church, business, or organization. awardstoremember.com. 892-2500. Visit their showroom at 4017 Alabama Highway 144 in Ohatchee. Back on high school football, Alabama's after the game. Time for our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship. Let's tell you about this. We have 19 schools this year. Every school in Cherokee and Calhoun counties now eligible for this. We've got 4 senior athletes to begin with, 2 females, 2 males from each high school in those counties. And you're voting. It's you, the viewers out there watching high school football Alabama after the game. You go to our Facebook page. You're probably there right now. And as of about 23 minutes ago, the polling is open now to vote for our next list of nominees from Cherokee County and from Weaver High Schools. From Cherokee County, we have Mary Hayes Johnson. She's an indoor and outdoor track athlete with a 97 GPA. Also, we have Annalise Walker, a softball player for the Cherokee County Warriors with a 96 GPA. The 2 male athletes from Cherokee County are Jackson Altman, a baseball player with a 100 GPA. And then also you have from Cherokee County, Jeb Crane, a baseball player with a 92 grade point average. There's a $1,500 scholarship for the females and a $1,500 scholarship for the males, a total of $3,000. Now, let's jump over to Weaver High School. 2 female nominees from Weaver. We have Kenley Fulmer, wrestling. Yes, we have, it's not just in WWE and AEW that we have female wrestling. We have female wrestling right here in the state of Alabama. And Kinley Fulmer's one of those wrestling and softball player with a 4.0 GPA for the Weaver Bearcats. The other female is Jocelyn Masaniai, a volleyball and basketball player with a 3.96 GPA. The two male athletes coming from Weaver, Gabe King, a football and basketball player with a 2.02 GPA, and our male athlete from Weaver High School, the other nominee is Chris Thornton, a football, wrestling, and track and field player with a 3.14 GPA. Go right now all the way through next Friday at 12 noon, the 27th of October, to High School Football Alabama's Facebook page. All you have to do is like the photograph of the one that you want to vote for, as we're going to narrow it from 76 student athletes to 38, and then we'll have the big vote, and we'll have coming up, I think it's November 17th, we will have the two winners right here announced live, and they'll be with us in studio here on After the Game.
So Masaniai on there.
Yeah.
And David Masaniai, I wonder if there's a relation there, Weaver, maybe the Weaver
Probably
quarterback?
so.
There's
I
not
think
many
so.
Masaniais around there, and that name is really familiar, synonymous with Weaver football, been in the early 2000s.
Yes, I think
Good
you're right.
football player. Maybe
Probably
related
so.
there.
We'll ask that question.
We'll
I'll
have to
find
ask
that
that.
out. Time for our awards to remember. East Alabama Top 10. Some changes tonight because Moody lost. Oxford lost tonight, so we had some changes. Let's go with number 10. I didn't feel like to pull Oxford out of it because the two losses they had were to Hartselle, who a lot of Oxford folks thought was actually a win. And then you lose to the number 2 team in the state, who a lot of folks think are going to Super 7 and Clay Chalkville. So left them in at number 10, even with 2 losses. Number 9, Wadley comes back. Wadley still only has that 1 loss, and that was to a very good Randolph County team. So Wadley was there. They dropped out, but Wadley is back in Class 1A. Looks like they're going to win a region title, folks, in Class 1A Region 6. Number 8 in our East Alabama Top 10, Randolph County got back on track tonight. By the way, that win, Coach, I know you'll talk about this in just a moment, a big one for Pat Prestridge. Number 7 in our East Alabama Top 10, Coosa Christian rising up 51-0 tonight. I know their overall record, don't be deceived. They only lost that 1 game, who was to Geraldine. So on the field, they've only had 1 loss, and they are dominating teams in Class 1A. Number 6 in our East Alabama Top 10, Southside continues to roll tonight, 49-21 over Alexandria. They led it 49-0 at one time tonight. They are playing some really good football. Huge matchup with Moody next week. Top 5, number 5, Jacksonville. They had an open date. Number 4 in our East Alabama Top 10, Hanley. Basically wrapped up the region title tonight with that win over Cleburne County. Number 3, Central of Clay County. What a performance tonight. 49-7 at Beauregard.
Running
Huge.
clock again.
Number 2 in our East Alabama Top 10, Cherokee County. 49-0 tonight at Etowah. Number 1, of course, B.B. Comer. And B.B. Comer won bigly tonight again against Central of Coosa. I think that was 51-7 down at Hanover tonight. So, again, we're talking about teams that are going to make deep playoff runs, teams that are going to win region titles, teams that are going to compete for state championships. That's what we're comprised of here, guys. Your thoughts?
Okay. Sure. I want to see Cherokee County in person at some point. I know you make the statement. So if you can make that happen, I want to see them in person. I want to see just how impressive they are because, we talk a lot about the, running back Cornell, but I know that there's more to that. I want to see that team as a whole. And then also Hanley, that would be another team that would be on the list to see with your eyes because that's a good football team from what I've seen. I mean, if they beat Jacksonville, and I've seen Jacksonville a couple times this year, that's a phenomenal football team. Both those teams are the ones that really stand out to me.
If Cherokee County happened to be home the same time Spring Garden was, you could go by there and drop by Spring Garden and pick up a sandwich all at the same time.
Need that steak
sandwich.
sandwich.
Let me tell you this, too.
Need that steak sandwich.
Cherokee County, they also have a steak sandwich.
Yes, they do.
Do they really?
Which I understand is pretty good. And the big thing at Cherokee County is they have like the fried candy bars that they do up at Center.
Almighty.
I missed out on a lot while I was coaching
apparently
in the
so.
concession stands.
That is our East Alabama Top 10. Coach, what do you think?
Well, first of all, they did running the clock for the second week in a row. They had the running clock. That hardly ever happens at all.
Yeah. And it's
Last
twice
week it was
back
with
to
8-minute quarters. They didn't change the quarter time, but they had a running clock. But right here tonight, I got to give kudos to Pat Prestridge. Now he has become, with tonight's win, the winningest coach in Randolph County history. And who does he over? Ron Waters, who the stadium is named after, who's a Hall of Fame guy. Have to give credit to Pat for what he's done there at Randolph County. And he didn't change things. They just keep going on and doing what they do. And just a lot. He would tell you, nope, it's all my players, and it is. But somebody has to lead him, and he's done a great job with that.
That's awesome. And the thing about it is, as you know, Coach, we're a part of a group called the Mighty Ballers. I don't know why I'm in this group, but I am. And the guy who organizes the Mighty Ballers is retired coaches, legends. I'm sitting in this room like, what in the world am I doing here? But I'm pleased to be there because Ron Waters is the guy that organizes that. One of the great guys in the business.
Yeah, and you have to think this year alone, 2 of those Hall of Fame guys have been surpassed at one of their schools, and that was Coach Waters at Randolph County and Coach Mike Battle Sr. at Welborn, and Jeff Smith made that here just recently also.
Good stuff. We come back, we're going to have more of high school football Alabama's after the game, some more region standings to look after, and also Team of the Week still to come.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed Vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
We will have our last Red Threads Extra Point of the night coming up. Red Threads has that beautiful facility on the square in Jacksonville. If you love Jacksonville State University merchandise, this is the place to go. It's a really nice store, just a really welcoming store, great merchandise. You'll find Jack State stuff there that you just don't find anywhere else. They also have this year local high school team apparel as well. And of course, custom apparel for your company. They provide our t-shirts for our Anniston Orthopedic Score shirts and also our Muscle Team shirts from Grub Mart and Young Oil Company. Red Threads powered by O-Brand. We're back on high school football. Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. 2 more classifications to look at in our region rundown, presented by Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden. We're going to begin in Class 5A tonight. Central of Clay County wrapping up a region championship tonight with that running clock that you talked about at Beauregard. Looks like we're going to have Valley 2, Elmore County 3, Beauregard 4. This region is set and done, guys. And Central of Clay County just, they got all the region games have been played in this region. So this is why it's set. There's only a 6-team region. Clay Central has Russell County, Wetumpka, non-region games coming up. So that's set. Beauregard will be the 4, Elmore County the 3, Valley the 2, and Clay Central the 1.
I'm just looking. You shouldn't do this, but I'm in Coach Horn.
So you can do this now. You're in the media. You're not because you look ahead.
I can, and I don't anybody tell Coach Horn, but I'm looking for a beach trip.
Yeah, you mentioned this a couple of times, and maybe number 1 Gulf Shores and number 3 Central of Clay County, possibly.
I'm sure they would not. They would love to have that.
Speaking of facilities down there, was it Orange Beach?
Orange Beach, OB.
Wow, goodness
OB.
gracious.
Yeah, there's a little bit of money down in
It's like
Gulf
everybody's trying to
Shores and Orange
outdo
Beach.
each other. Oxford has all this coming, and then Orange Beach comes
All
out
you
with their
people
stuff.
from around here who go to the beach and spend all those thousands and thousands of dollars every week on your beach vacation, you are funding the juggernauts of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach football coming.
And give Coach Smelly tonight some props.
Oh, yes.
They finally
Selicock
got their
gets their
first
first win. They haven't won since the 2021 season.
Yes.
And they get the win tonight over Tallahassee. Big win for Coach Chris Smelly. Class 5A Region 6, Southside, they control their destiny now. Everybody's got a loss in that region now with Leeds win over Moody. Southside now, they got Moody next week. They're going to win the region title if they beat the Moody Blue Devils next week. Southside, it's really impressive what they've done this year. That game will be at Moody.
At Moody, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Then you got Leeds, you got Moody. It looks like Springville's locked in already as the number 4 because they have beaten St. Clair County, Lincoln, and Alexandria head-to-head. So it's one of those weird deals. You get this sometimes where the number 4 team is locked in, but you don't know 1, 2, and 3 yet. Have to wait on those games coming up next week, and that is Class 5A Region 6. We go to Class 2A now, and again, we know B.B. Comer is going to be the region champion in Class 2A Region 4. Thorsby, Vincent, Isabella, those are the top 4 teams in the region. The season's going to be over with for Ranburne. Ranburne needed to win tonight, and they did not get it done against Thorsby.
And they've been in for the last 3 or 4 games, they're in them in ahead of halftime.
Yeah, they against Isabella last week. Same way, only lost 29-25. So there's your top 4 right there: B.B. Comer, Thorsby, Vincent, Isabella. And now we go to Class 2A Region 6. Locust Fork pretty much wrapped up the region title tonight. This is the first time that Locust Fork has ever been 9-0 in school history. They've never been 8-0, and they have been steamrolling people. Southeastern going to have that home field advantage in the playoffs with that win over Pleasant Valley tonight. Pleasant Valley is going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to go in as the number 3 team. West End will be the number 4 team. Pleasant Valley has already beaten West End and Cleveland and Holly Pond. They get Gaston next week. So Pleasant Valley, let's take our hats off to Jonathan Nix. Maybe not at home in the first round of the playoffs, but they're going to be in the playoffs as the number 3 seed in Class 2A Region 6.
And maybe they can get healthy. And if they get healthy, you know, a lot of kids would think, well, we didn't get our goal, and that was to host a game. Mm-hmm. It's just as important to host round 2. I mean, you're on the road round 1. It's very easy to go in there and win it and say, hey, guys, there's a way we can get back here. And that's what he'll start telling them. Let's win round 1, and we can get home.
Yeah. I love the idea, though, the mentality say we don't want to just get to the playoffs. We want to host a playoff game. It's one of those where reach for the stars is going to get the moon if you don't get them, you know what I mean? So in the playoffs, number 3 seed, that's pretty impressive for them.
And the reset is that, look, guys, we still got a chance to be able to host a home game. We just got to get to round 2.
There you go.
First time in 13 years that Pleasant Valley has made the playoffs. We promised you our final Red Threads extra point of the night. Here it is. Heading into tonight's games, talked about Central Clay County just now. The Volunteers are both the leading scoring team and the leading scoring defensive team in Class 5A. I don't think they did anything to hurt that tonight. The Vols averaging before tonight 42 points per game on offense, giving up only 6 points per game on defense. Clay Central is also the number 6 team on defense in the state across all classifications. No surprises. We'll be back with more. See that trophy right there? That Tough Guy trophy from Awards to Remember. Our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week announcement is next.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
A game that was not very important just a week ago took on a lot of importance this week. We're talking about the game between the Munford Lions and the White Plains Wildcats, and the Munford Lions with a goal line stand in overtime. It was 28-28 at the end of regulation. Munford scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion and then held White Plains at the 1-yard line on 4th down at the end of the game to win the game 36-28 in overtime. Congratulations to Coach Michael Easley and the Munford High School Lions. The mighty, mighty Munford High School Lions are Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. They'll get the Anniston Orthopedic Score shirts, the Ted shirts, and they'll get the Awards to Remember Tough Guy trophy coming to Munford, Alabama next week. For Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett, our entire hard-working after the game team, we'll see you back here 10 o'clock sharp next Friday night.
After the Game is a production of Fairfax Garden Media.